Hi there, everybody, and welcome to Roll with Advantage. My name is Joe, and welcome to the Isles of Iverion session 29, almost session 30. We're getting there, and got quite a bit of stuff planned today. As today is going to be a downtime session, so it's going to be a little more relaxed, ideally, and we'll see if more intense things happen. Totally possible. Just have to kind of go along with what happens. So just as quick update for two things. One, Jamie is running a little bit late. Something to do with cake and alcohol. That's it. So that Jamie's going to be a little late. And then
what a sentence.
Also, just as a quick heads up, currently the Forge, the Foundry VTT, which is the sort of virtual tabletop that we use, is currently down. Apparently there was some type of server issue and like mitigating, like transferring data, and it just caused the majority of North America and apparently some people in other places as well to kind of just not be able to access the Forge at all. So there might be a brief moment where we kind of go on break if that does come back, so we can kind of get everything reset up there. But it just depends. So for right now, everything's going to be theater of the mind, which most of the time it is anyway. Just no art assets until that's back online. Okay, so that is that. And with that, I think we can roll the intro and then get started. And we're back. So, as is tradition now within my 3 campaigns, we're going to have players doing the summary, and as I understand it, we had Quilp do the summary last week. Not Kit, we had Quilp do it. But now we have real-life G. Hutto herself, Gemma, doing the summary. So, Gemma, go ahead and take it away. What happened last week on the Isles of Iverion?
Well, we start off with Eurydice sneaking off early in the morning to demand a meeting with her patron Day and ask for the protection of Geldervan, who is basically going to die within the fortnight otherwise after her betrayal of the cult of House Markle. Day also happened to have something that he wanted to discuss with Yuri, no longer wanting her to kill, but rather ally herself with Bianca, who he now sees as a tool against the Dark One and the true threat to his power and stability. Meanwhile, back in the tavern, Quilp, Din, and Nalfian have a little discussion to try and better understand this entity that the Dowie and now House Markle are connected to, only to realise that there's quite a lot that they don't know and that really meditation is hard. But continuing on, Geldervan, now with the knowledge that she'll be safe, thanks to Day, has a little heart with Grok, as they both have their souls tied to different entities, and informs him of a place in the Scorched Valley which is said to grant wishes. Geldervan also choosing to slip away during the day without a formal farewell to the rest of the party or even really to Grok, only really having that little private conversation between the two of them. And so then after a couple of days of relaxing, we get to the Harvest End Festival, aka Nalfian's birthday. The whole town is engulfed in this great celebratory vibe with music just playing throughout all the streets. And the party's able to take part in several of the festivities, Nalfian winning a little stuffed owlbear for Twig, the group getting caricature done of them, Twig losing in an archery contest, group breaking over some geodes or rocks in Nalfian's case, and Grok just absolutely destroying a drinking contest. And the day is then capped off with a nice little feast where the party is then recognised for their efforts in saving the town. And then they get to watch some fireworks from the Ferris wheel. I'm not bloody calling it by that random-ass dwarf's name. With Nalfian taking the little opportunity to start to open up a little bit to Twig.
His name is Kroknuk, by the way.
Yeah, what a bitch.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that is indeed what happened last time. So we're going to pick up almost immediately after that moment, that very, very sweet moment between Nalfian and Twig. Eventually, the Ferris wheel does sort of come back down towards the ground. As you exit off, you can see that dwarvish man who was standing there manning the Ferris wheel is no longer there, and it's just some teenager just kind of working their job, just trying to get that grind, and you question to yourself, was that dwarf ever there, or was it just a figment of my imagination? And I guess it's just one of those questions that nobody knows the answer to. It's just, it is what it is. So, with that, all of you begin to make your way back towards the Wise Lantern in the area where you had been staying at for the time being, and ready to settle in for the night after a day of fun. But as you all are walking along, Eurydice, Grok, Quilp, and Din sort of leading the way, chit-chatting with one another, talking back and forth, having a good time. Nalfian and Twig begin to trail behind the rest of the group.
Yeah, so as we kind of got off the Ferris wheel, just walking back with everyone, Nalfian would have just kind of holds like offering to hold Twig's hand if she'll take it, and just kind of hold back a little bit.
She'd obviously be holding Mal's hand.
Okay.
I'm not trying like push to keep with the group or anything, so.
Yeah, so kind of like stopping short outside of the tavern and waiting for everyone else to go in. He's just gonna say, before I forget, and kind of like looks around to make sure no one else is watching, and he'll just kind of squat down. I wanted to give you something, something that I think will be easier to carry than that owlbear. And very hesitantly, he's gonna kind of reach around and unhook the locket that's around his neck. It's not super fancy. It's just oval-shaped locket. Small vines are engraved on it, and actually a few roses. And he's just gonna hold it out to her. He's just gonna say, I wanted you to hold on to this for me. I wanted you to have something that you can hold on to, so that you have someone. I'm always going to be here for you, Twig, and I've realized a few things over the last month or so now, and anyway, if you ever need anything, or if you ever feel alone, I know you have Grok and Eurydice. Quilp seems to be reliable to, of course, Din. But I wanted you to know that I am always here, and this is important to me. And Twig, if I'm being honest, I'm finding that not many things in my life are important anymore. But, you seem to fill that cup without it draining. And I wanted you to hold on to this, so you know that I would gladly do the same for you, whatever it is you need. And he's just gonna offer it.
Yeah, if he's offering it, Twig will take it, probably investigating it, and as soon as she sees it's a locket, she's probably trying to open it.
I just don't open it until the time is right.
Well, what's inside it?
Inside is just something that was really important to me at one time. And when the time is right, I want to have the conversation with you. But I feel as though this is a lot to... Just kind of looking around again. This is a lot to trust you with, and a lot to just give to you at your kid, and I'm putting a lot of myself into this and onto you, and I don't want you to have to carry any more than you already are. But I want you to know that if whatever you find out this week, you go to that library, you wherever you head off with Din, I want you to know that I'm here to help you work through that and you can
I
tell
know
he
that,
doesn't
but
know
what's
what to
inside
say.
it, though?
It's a
This
portrait.
doesn't have to do
Twig.
with all that Underdark stuff, right?
Yes and no.
Oh. Well, I don't feel comfortable carrying this if it has things to do with that. I mean, you said it yourself, it's a bad place, right? Why are you even carrying it then?
It's a bad place. But this is the one good that's come out of it.
What does that mean? What's inside it?
It's just a painting.
So then, why can't I see it? Have you seen what's inside it?
I have.
So, why does it need to be a secret?
You can see he doesn't really know what to say, and it's kind of an uncomfortable thing. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's not a
I
secret,
understand why you can't
Twig.
just talk about it. Why is it... Why can't you just say what's in it? It isn't anything bad, right? I mean, even if you think it's good. I mean, do you know?
It's nothing bad, Twig. It's good.
But it's from the Underdark, right?
It's not from the Underdark, no. If you don't... I'm not gonna force you to hold on to it.
Just don't know if it's a good idea, especially if it obviously means something to you. Isn't it better for you to keep on holding it? I mean, this is what you've been having around your neck this whole time, right?
It is.
So why would you want to give it to me then?
Because you are important to me. And because I do want to show you and I do want to have this conversation about it.
Well,
It's
then
not
we
a-
can have this conversation now, right?
Twig,
It's just whenever you're talking about any of this thing, it's always bad and, well, things I shouldn't know about, and I don't know if I want to, well, have something that's connected to all that.
Twig, I promised you I wouldn't give you something that was bad.
Well, I know you wouldn't want to, but what if you don't know that it is bad? I mean, can you even be sure if you can't even say what it is?
He just kind of like
there's a lot
puts his hand on
happening.
your shoulder. Twig, it's nothing bad.
So then why can't I open it?
Because it's not... You can. Just not right now. Please. I've already put so much onto you. That's not the point of this. The point is to let you know that I'm trusting you with something that is incredibly important. Because I care about you and I want you to know that. When the time is right, you can open it and it will answer every single question that you have. You have so much that you need to do, so much that you need to learn about you. Isn't that part of why we're here? These people you need to speak to. I'm not trying to add to that. I'm just here to help carry it. If you'll let me.
I don't understand. Everything you say is always so confusing. And I know I can't ask questions about it, but I, I just don't want to have any more questions about it. I mean, when would I even know if it's the right time to open it or not? When I don't even really know what's in it.
I promise you, Twig, you will know when the time is right. I've not done this. I didn't get to do this. So, I'm sorry that I don't have all the answers right now. I didn't mean to make it worse. I can take it back if you don't, if...
I'm sorry, I feel bad because it's your birthday, and, well, I mean, to be fair, you're not meant to be the one giving gifts anyways, so... Just... If it is something important to you... And, well, if it is a good thing like you're saying, then I feel like it's best for you to just keep it.
You can see just like a look of sadness kind of cross his face.
I mean, you deserve some happiness, and if it's a good thing, then it'll make you happy, right? If you have it.
Yeah. It should. Everything is still true, is what I said, so... I just wanted you to know that. But if you're not comfortable, then I don't want to make things worse for you, so...
I just think it's probably better.
She's just gonna, like, hold it back out to you, just, like, head turned to the side and down.
Yeah, he'll hesitantly just take it back.
Twig will just, like, kind of do that, like, awkward jog kind of shuffle back up to where the rest of the party is, just wanting to, I guess, leave that conversation expediently.
Nelphin will just kind of stay outside.
As you're staying outside, you can hear this coming from near you. Oh, isn't that so sad? As you turn around, it's odd to see yourself, especially in the moonlight. This wispy, shadowy version of yourself almost seems to come to life in the darkness. It's so similar to you. It seems as though every passing day, every moment you grow in power, that this version of you becomes more real. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I am. Remember, Nalfian, I know the pain you feel. We're connected. I went through the same thing you did. And he'll kind of walk up to you, put a hand on your shoulder.
Yeah, in this moment, he's just kind of still staring in the direction that Twig went, with the locket in his hand.
You know what? I think I know what might make you feel better. Take tonight, be gloomy, be sad, drink a little. But tomorrow, well, as I recall, you got a new set of dice. And I'm sure there are some lovely ladies in this den of debauchery that, well, they could probably use a good time. What do you think?
He just kind of glances over his shoulder at Shadow Elf. And his hand is gonna just kind of curl around the locket. He's just gonna go for a walk. He's not gonna go back into the tavern.
Okay. All right. So, you head for your walk. You don't hear any footsteps behind you, and Shadow Elf doesn't say anything else. Are you headed anywhere particular, or are you just kind of walking to walk?
He's just walking to walk.
Okay. Alrighty. So, eventually, unless you plan to sleep outside, you do need to come back to the tavern eventually.
Yeah, he will. It'll be a while, but he will.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So, make your way back to the tavern, make your way up to your room, and head to sleep for the night.
Yuri was waiting for him
Oh.
because earlier she messaged him saying happy birthday. He said, okay, do you want to talk later? He said, hey, can we talk later? And she said, yeah, sure. So she's waiting for him.
All right, so Nalfian, as you get back from your very long walk, you can see, surprisingly, sitting in the almost empty common room of this inn is Eurydice. Sitting at a table, you can see that while she was waiting for you, there's maybe a few cups of some, maybe like warm mulled wine, as maybe her eyes are just a little groggy. There's a little bit of weight to her eyelids, but seeing you sort of spark back with life. And you remember the message you sent earlier, and it seems like she waited up for you.
You can tell that his entire demeanor is very different from the last time you saw him. He was in very good spirits earlier in the night when he sent that message originally, but now it just looks like... I mean, Nelfian's typically the kind of guy, you know, shoulders back, looking, you know, down at everybody. But he looks very defeated. And just kind of slumps in.
Okay. She will have been reading or something so that she didn't just totally fall asleep. She'll like the book and walk up to him, looking pretty concerned. Hey, what's wrong? You were so happy earlier.
I'm fine. Long day.
It's believable. What happened?
I don't know. I think I just need a drink and go to bed.
Okay. Looks like you probably don't want to talk anymore.
Yeah. Maybe tomorrow would be better. I'm sorry.
It's okay. He's gonna grab one of like the drinks that she probably barely touched because she was just kind of starting to fall asleep already, and hands it to him. Here you go, and I can either sit silently with you or I can leave you alone.
You can stay if you want. and he'll just kind of sit and... I mean, he's very closed off right now, but he's just gonna drink, and he's not ignoring her. He's just kind of caught up in his own head.
Okay. I think he probably doesn't want to talk much. He's just kind of drinking. She will sit, not drink much, and she will just kind of read a little bit and just keep him company until he feels like going out to bed.
He'll drink it all. Every last drop, and if she doesn't finish hers, he'll finish it, and he's gonna go to bed.
Okay. Sounds good. So, you head off to sleep. And Riddicy, you follow shortly after. And with that, everybody heads off to bed and wakes up the next morning, and 3 months of downtime begins. So let me go ahead and get a little something going on here. Yeah, we want something a little bit less low key. Maybe something with a little bit more energy. You know, we got a lot going on here.
Instead of, soul crushing, it's fine.
All right. There we go. Cool. Witcher music has a little bit more energy to it. So, here we go. 3 months of downtime. So pretty much how this is going to work is, I'm going to kind of go through the consistent things that are happening over downtime first, which I know sounds odd, but these are things that don't really affect any of the stories or information. It's just things that you're doing when you're not doing your thing you wanted to do. That makes any sense? So that involves Nalfian and his gambling, because there's going to be some money gained from that. There's going to be Eurydice and her job and the money that you get from that. Twig playing Kingdoms and Castles, and then Quilp just generally trying to help Den, and whenever Nalfian wants to, Nalfian sort of figure out that whole meditation thing. So, let's go ahead and start with yeah, let's go ahead and start with Nalfian and his gambling, so we can just kind of figure out how much money you are earning from your gambling. Okay?
I will say, today, bushy-tailed. I mean, he started drinking early today, so he's about 3 drinks in before he even starts his first game. And when he goes about this, as long as, depending on who's in the room when he's doing it, I mean, he will gather himself a little crowd.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no gambling in this tavern. At least early.
New tavern.
Early in the morning. Yeah, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to go
find
to
it.
Different places. Yeah.
His
Easily.
cup is empty. It is bone dry. So let's go fill it up the only way he knows how.
There you go. There you go. Okay. So, as I said, as I told you before, what you need to do is you need to tell me how hard are you pushing things here when it comes to your gambling? Because you have
This morning, very.
Okay, on the first day. Okay, so remember, this is just over the course of the entirety of the 3 months.
He'll
So
probably mellow out towards the end, but it's probably gonna go hard first.
okay, all right. So, how much gold do you have right now?
Let me check. I'm pretty sure it was like 800 something. I don't know if it says on VTT.
That's right, because but VTT's not working. Remember?
Oh no, I should have said D&D Beyond because
okay.
it's 800 something. D&D Beyond is not updated correctly, but I remember boasting about it last week. So.
Okay. All right.
Do I need to roll a thing?
Well, the thing is, you have a loaded dice that you can choose the outcomes on. So there's not really any rolling that needs to be done, aside from a quick little percentage die here real quick. So you're starting off fairly aggressive on that first day and then kind of mellowing out as time goes on, which that's good. So I'm going to say that would Nalfian be willing to lose sort of a game every now and then as to not arise suspicion, or is he really kind of...
Yeah, no, even before he had loaded dice, like, he has proficiency in dice games. Like, he knows the right way to hustle and gamble, so he'd be willing to lose some to gain a larger profit over time.
Okay, all right, that is mainly what I was asking for. So, by the way, VTT is working now. It's a little slow, but it is working.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and okay. All right. So you spend your time between about 3 different dice games. One dice game works a lot like blackjack, where you want to make sure that you're given 8 dice, and you want to try and make sure that your number stays under a certain value, but then if you are able to land on exactly that value, well, then you sort of win the entire jackpot. So that's kind of the first one that you spend a lot of your time going through. And then there is another one where different sets of numbers and dies have different point values attached to them. And it kind of works like poker, where you want to pretty much outbeat your opponent by rolling a better set of dice than them. It's rolled with 4 sets of dice for each person playing. And if you beat it, it works a lot like poker, where you sort of raise and bet and call and all that good stuff. The final one is a much more dangerous one to play. This would be something that Nalfian would kind of find at the end of the 3 months, but it involves super high stakes, where every roll almost is valued at the hundreds of gold pieces, tens of platinum, and it is you roll 2 dice, and you need to make sure it's completely luck of the draw that you're always landing on the same 2 numbers. And so it's completely random. There's very little skill. It is all luck. And you know what?
Gotcha.
Nalfian, these past few months, has had a lot of luck. So at the end of the 3 months, after making most of his money from those 2 other games, he eventually gets to this 3rd game. And throughout the games, especially when Nalfian was going on an intense winning streak, especially that first week before he mellowed out, there was something that made Nalfian very uncomfortable during that time, especially with what he's kind of learned, is as you were sort of rolling and winning over and over and over again, the people that you were playing with, they would throw an idiom at you, and they would claim that you have the Dark One's own luck. And, they would say it, and then they would laugh and kind of move on. But that definitely bothered you a little bit. So, with that, and considering that you were able to get yourself up to this high-level game, you did lose some games as not to arise suspicion, so I'd like you to roll a D100 for me. And pretty much how this is going to work is there's a small chance that you could end up getting in some trouble. Luckily, you are having some due diligence here. So roll a D100, and if it is higher than 21, you're good.
That on my... Higher than what?
Higher than 21.
You see what I rolled? I rolled a 3.
Okay. So pretty much what happens in that moment is as you're playing in that high stakes game, you win about 5 or 6 dice rolls in a row. And, you know, you've been using your dice this entire time. It has every single like pip marker on the die or these small little crowns and, you know, engraved with all these different roses. And there's this older, very rich merchant, half-orc man who says, well, you know what? Why don't you use my dice this time, Mr. Lucky? And he's gonna throw his dice cup next to you with 2 dice in there. Seem to be made of bone with just very simple, small pips. And what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to roll 2d6.
Oh my, okay.
And this will determine kind of how much money you gain from
2 5s.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god.
Dark One's own luck, baby.
Yep. Yeah, well, so as you roll the 2 5s and they sort of click, 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 they land on the 2 5s. They sort of like, the man and the other 3 sort of sitting around the table, they all kind of look down. And then they say, oh, the Dark One's eyes there.
Take my money now.
Of course. And with that, because how this game works is a very high stakes, very kind of all or nothing. And with your 2 5s and your victories from before, Nalfian during these 3 months of downtime, he makes away like a bandit. So you gain an additional, let me subtract your starting. Oh man, go ahead and add 8,800 gold.
Sorry, what? Okay, I will. That's insane. Okay.
Well, that number would have been significantly less because he would have lost most of it had you not rolled the 2 5s there.
Oh man. That's ridiculous. That's why I wanted to roll it on VTT so that way I could see like, you know, like oh well, yeah, shit, wowzers. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, the odds of that happening is like, I don't know.
Not a lot?
It's not a lot. It's like 1 in 36, I think.
All right.
Probably
dope.
more. Oh man.
Oops, my money is like not saving in VTT for some reason. I'm just gonna add it on D&D Beyond.
All right. By the way, so I'm gonna go ahead and kick Groovy now because VTT is working now. Get out of here, Groovy. God damn, I spent so much time organizing this music stuff. I'm gonna use it. God damn it.
So loud though. I gotta turn it down.
Yeah, you might have to turn it down to get in there. Ooh. Okay. There we go. Mucho bueno. Alrighty. So, with that, good job, Nalfian. You did it. So that's over the course of the 3 months.
Yeah.
So, you know, use that at your discretion. Don't make any too big of purchases during the first 2 months, but, you know, it's safe to say that you can cover most expenses during that time. Yeah. Now, Eurydice, we're going to, not to make you feel bad on purpose, but now we're going to go through and we're going to talk about how much money you make as a barmaid. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, here's the thing. The nice part is the area where you're working, because of the sort of word of mouth that is spread because you're working there and your friends and the people who help save the town are working there.
She's also using telekinesis and magic and all this good shit, and she's being so charming the whole time.
Of course, of course. So, real quick, go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
Yeah. Yuri is actually pretty good at those. So. I'm actually good if D&D Beyond wasn't on my modifiers for that. Not going anywhere, are we, though, during the time? Because there was some stuff said about, Quig and stuff, so she's just going away with Din, right?
And whoever else would go. I mean, it's up to you if you want to stay.
Yeah, I think Yuri would give them the time, I suppose, to go and do whatever.
Okay.
Okay. That is... Oh, fuck. How do you get your abilities up? Why is it just... I'm struggling. I'm struggling.
How do you get on D&D Beyond?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm fine now, I think.
Are you sure?
It's such a fucking struggle. It was a 21.
21. Okay, very cool. So,
Sorry.
no, it's okay. It's okay. So 21. Okay. So I'll say that 21, that's kind of your net gold in tips per month. So over the course of 3 months, that is 64 gold in tips.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And we'll say that your sort of base wages, along with whatever other money that you would have gained through working here at that time, would come out to about be 120 gold a month, for a total of 360 gold a month plus the 64 in tips.
That's a lot better than I thought it was gonna be, so I'm quite glad.
Yes, well, you attracted the wealthy class to the tavern, so that helped substantially. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. So there is that consistently. Then one of the other things that was happening consistently is that Eurydice wanted to do some family dinner nights.
Yes.
Correct.
Yuri, what she's gonna do is she's gonna make sure she's spending individual time. This is her full mum friend energy just emerging. She's gonna spend individual time. So she's gonna take Twig out for picnics. She's gonna have magical theory talks with like Quilp and Din. She's gonna dance with Nalfian every now and again, and like serve him drinks when he comes back from his gambling, whatever. She's gonna hang out with Grok, but she's also gonna make sure that on Winter's Crest, on the Day of like Heroes, all that, we're having family dinners that no one is getting out of, and we're having also weekly Kingdoms and Castles tournaments. If like somebody doesn't have cards, we're gonna make little teams, and no one is getting out of them. Absolutely no one. She's not letting anybody get out of these.
Okay. So yeah, you're all like punishable by scolding. Everybody's got to do it. So Nalfian, you are dragged away from some gambling matches by Eurydice, and I would like Twig. I'd like you to go ahead and make a wisdom or intelligence check for me to see if you learn something here.
Oh shit. Okay.
Wisdom or intelligence. Yep.
Okay, that's a non-nat 20.
Non-nat 20. Alrighty. Congratulations, Twig. You have gained proficiency in kingdoms and castles.
Aww.
And then Eurydice
That
is
was a character. We're good now.
all right. Send her off. Bring somebody new in. Now, was Eurydice also trying to really like learn and get good at the game, or is she just kind of playing for fun?
I think she's just playing for fun.
Okay. All right. That I figured I would ask just in case you wanted to try and have her be proficient. But yeah. Okay. I'm assuming Nalfian and Quilp are kind of the same way, not trying to gain proficiency in Kingdoms and Castles, this trading card game.
Nah. Nalfian would probably let people beat him every now and then. Like, he's just playing for fun.
Mm.
Are you trying to teach Quilp how to play a card game? What is it?
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Can I roll to see whether he manages to do any of that?
Yeah, make an intelligence or wisdom check.
Hi, Jamie.
Oh,
Hi, Jamie.
go. That's a 7.
Oh.
It's a little rough, Quilp.
Yeah.
A lot of cards, a lot of abilities, a lot of steps to gameplay.
Oops, hello.
Yeah. He's just kind of involved. You know, he's making up the table, but very confused about what's going on.
Cool. And then this is probably an obvious question, but is Grok trying to gain proficiency in kingdoms and castles?
It depends.
Oh.
Does Grok understand?
I mean, I
Twix
think
teach you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Twig and Eurydice, they sort of took you through the steps. They tried their best to teach you. So like I would say the game's not that hard to grasp. There's just a lot of steps. So
I think Grok will try and understand until the point where he just gets frustrated and is like, "Fuck this! There's so many steps."
okay, make an intelligence or wisdom check with disadvantage.
Yeah, fine.
This'll determine. Oh.
Yeah, it checks out.
Yep. Nope. That is. That's gonna be a no. You try for a little bit, but it's just so fucking complicated. So. No thanks there. Alrighty. So there, there we have that. And then Den is going to try as well an intelligence check, ability check. Den does not gain proficiency in kingdoms and castles. It's a complex game to get proficiency in. So, and then of course this. Oh. Work, please. There we go. All right. So, Din, yeah, Twig is ready for that Kingdoms and Castles tournament hosted by Thomas in a year. Okay.
Destroy them.
Alrighty. So then, Grok, was there anything you wanted to try and do consistently over the course of those 3 months? Like, this is not anything specific, but just kind of something you're doing when you're not doing your thing over the course of the 3 months.
Honestly, Grok's Grok. Grok will like go to whatever pub he can find, get in random pub fights, and just fucking vibe. Like, yeah, he'll just get in scraps.
Okay. I'll say that after after a while of going back and forth between different pub fights, maybe over the first month or so, eventually towards the second and third month, there are people who start to come to you that ask if you want to do some brawling, like fighting for money.
Oh yeah, Grok could definitely do that.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength check for me real quick. This will kind of determine how much money Grok earns from.
Okay. Oh, that's a saving throw. Let's not do that. Oh, actually, it makes no difference. Oh,
Okay.
let's save and face. Can we assume everyone is near Grok?
Yeah, sure. We'll say
And that's a 20.
Best to bump that up to a dirty 20 there. We'll say that over the course with a dirty 20, we'll say that over the course of 2 months, then you end up making about. Let's see. Every week there's a match, and or maybe 2. You make about 25 gold per match from earnings. So we'll say you make about 2,000 gold in fighting.
Ooh.
I mean, you're good, Grok. You are very, very good. There's no doubt about that. So you destroy it. You gain some renown for your fighting. And yeah, very cool. All righty. So now, yeah, right. So now we come to, Quilp. Was there anything consistently Quilp was kind of doing, or was it just like the sort of helping Din and himself, and then Nalfian, if you wanted to gain that meditation ability?
Well, actually, those first few days, Quilt was going to be looking to see if he could find that dwarven gentleman that had invented that amazing machine, because it was the closest he'd ever got to flying, and he thought maybe that person might be able to help him design some kind of flying machine. So he put quite a lot of effort into that.
Make an investigation check for me.
Of course, I'd be very happy. That's a 2. So didn't go too well, you'll be pleased to hear.
Yeah. So as you're kind of walking around, just asking people, they're just kind of like walking past, because you're just Quilp, they're just kind of like, oh, haha, that's Quilp, and they just kind of walk past. And then there's this, you kind of like round a corner, and you're just in this really shady part of town, and you're just kind of asking people, right? Because Quilp is Quilp, whatever.
Yep.
And there is this dwarvish guy, who's missing 3 fingers on his hand. And you just, you ask, like, where's Kruknuk? And this dwarvish man kind of like flipping a copper piece back and forth on his fingers says, you looking for Kruknuk, huh?
I do indeed be looking for Kruknuk. I was hoping he might be able to help me with something, and would you possibly know where he is, sir?
Who's asking?
My name's Quilt. He won't have heard of me. I had the great pleasure and privilege of riding upon his incredible machine that he's created, and I was really hoping I could have a little chat with him about it. Do you know him?
Oh, friendly with him. Could say that much. Ha.
Really?
So, yeah. So you said you wanted to fly again, right?
Well, I hadn't actually flown before. See, that we didn't actually leave the ground. It was just a very long way above the ground that you ended up, but we were attached by bits of metal and such like to the ground. But I thought that if someone could be that clever, they might be able to design something that would allow you to leave the ground, per se. So yeah, if you've heard of him, I'd love to find a way to get to him. I don't suppose you know him?
His face was making a whole lot of different expressions with what you were saying. He's kind of like cocking his head and squinting his eyes, and he kind of laughs after you finish and says, "Hi, I seems like you're still coming down. Listen, if you want to return to Kruknuk, all it'll take is 2 gold pieces."
All right, now, Quilp's not an idiot, and he's got a very high insight. So could I do an insight check on him?
Oh, yeah.
He's lived on the streets a fair while, and I think he knows. So that's 23 on insight.
Yeah, this guy, he's definitely a drug dealer.
Okay.
And he probably has a drug named Kruknuk after the wheel.
Okay. All right. So Quilt's gonna kind of reach up and just kind of like pat him on the arm and say, "Now I think we might be talking at cross purposes, sir, and I'm very grateful for anything you might be offering, and I'm, to be sure, maybe if circumstances were different, I might want your way of being and flying, but as it is, I do genuinely want to find the gentleman Kruknuk, but you take good care of yourself now." And as he kind of pats him, he's just going to cast just a little heal, or anything that might be able to help the gentleman feel a little bit better about himself.
Okay, so you
And
do,
then-
and he's like, huh?
Oh, you have a very lovely day, and take very fine care of yourself. And yeah, I'll just be on my way down this, and he'll just kind of take his leave as quickly and as kindly as he can do.
You can see as you're walking away and you just kind of look back towards him. He leans over towards a person who's not there and says, "That guy's a bit off his rocker, isn't he?"
I'll
And
shake
then
his head, sad. Yeah.
and then walks back down the alley to disappear.
Oh well, I think Quilp eventually will give up on that because obviously Crocknut mysteriously has disappeared. And he'll kind of file that away for another quest. And yeah, and find other things to do.
Okay. Alrighty. Very cool. So then what we'll go ahead and do is we will get into the events of the downtime. So pretty much this is going to go month by month. Some of the things your character might do sooner, but in order to break it up evenly over the course of the 3 months, pushing some things around. So first things first, what I'm sure that all of the party would be interested in going and doing would be investigating that Dowie ruin shortly after things have kind of returned to normal in Highland Pass. So, just so I know, who was all going on that journey? It'd take about a week to get there and then come back.
Briggs obviously hella down.
Yeah, now we'll go.
Definitely.
Grok would go less out of interest, but more just to make sure everyone else is okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems dangerous, so she'd at least take that week out to go and do that.
It's a family outing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Din's not going. I'm just kidding. Din's going. Okie dokie. So, as all of you begin to make your way out of Highland Pass, and you begin to head back towards Isanalor. Now, Isanalor, the sort of forest or flame, like I said, it takes you about a week to leave Highland Pass, and, well, about a half a week to leave Highland Pass using the leaves that you still have on you, a gift from the Dryad, and Quilp, in your situation, a gift from Kosseth, the Bright Lord. You are able to easily navigate your way to the make your way to the the Dowie ruin. So you can see that as you approach, you do end up making your way through a part of the forest that seems to be almost destroyed, dilapidated, and almost consumed by a very thick web-like material. And you can kind of tell that just in your journey that this was definitely sort of the hotbed for insectoid activity as you begin to approach. But as all of you know, there is nothing for you all to worry about now, as you have handled that situation. So you make your way through the forests of Isanalor.
Joe, on the way there,
Mhm.
now that we're out of the town, could Quilp one evening, presumably we're going to have to travel for a little while, he'd kind of revisit the meditation, because we're out in nature again, and kind of see if Din wanted to try again, and Nalfian. So could light a little campfire, and one evening when the kind of stars are out, settle down beside it and say, well, we don't know whether you might want to try this again now that there ain't such noisy folks around, and maybe the universe will be letting us just tune in a little, because we were trying to find out what was happening, weren't we, with the fire and everything, and see if we could get any more messages coming through, as it were, before we got there. So it might be a good idea to explore this a little, if you think it would be sensible, Master Din.
Oh, I'm... And you see he starts to talk, and then he just sort of looks at you and just says, What'd you call me again?
Master Din. Oh, friendin. I'm sorry.
Hey.
I do apologize.
There we go.
Indeed, yes.
No problem. No
Um,
problem.
yeah, it's kind of just a customer habit, and it's just something that my folk we kind of we're very used to doing it, and I suppose it's just a habit that comes out as I go around meeting people. It seems safest
It's
sometimes to.
cool. It's all right. It's okay. And you can see that
Oh,
he's smiling. He's definitely not upset.
oh, good. I don't mean to cause no offence by it. In fact, quite the opposite, sir. So, not sir. Sorry, friend. Then. So, yeah, indeed. Anyway, anyway, if you would join me, friend Alfion, were you wishing to try your luck at exploring the mysteries of the universe again through the practice of meditation and thoughtfulness?
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Oh, no, that's the attitude, and it positive. And would your friend be joining us? The other one of you that's around at times and then mysteriously disappears, or?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay, right, fine. Well, just the three of us for the time being, unless anyone else wishes to join. Young Twig, this is very good for your mental acuity. I find it helps you to kind of develop all kinds of thinking practices, and I know that you think mighty hard when you're doing your card games, and it might be helpful in that.
I mean, this kind of depends. Are we just in normal forest now, or are we in Isnalor?
You're in Isinalor now.
Okay, well, as soon as they were getting into that kind of area, you could see that Twig is getting like more and more kind of like absent-minded about things. She probably doesn't like. She probably takes like a hot minute to realize that Quilp's even talking to her. But she'll just kind of shake her head, just looking out into the forest, into the leaves.
Well, that's fine. Anyone's welcome, but that's absolutely fine. And we'll kind of settle down and so if you just find yourself a comfy spot, I like to sit like this and cross my legs a little bit and just rest with a nice straight back and chin up so that you can breathe nice and deep, as it were, and just rest my hands just gently on my knees here like this. But none of that really matters. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, sometimes I've meditated and drifted off when I've been half asleep just lying on the ground, but completely up to you. And then you'll see, I just kind of intensify that little bit of flare in the flame there. If you see that bit which I've just turned a little bit kind of bluey colour, you can see just a little bit in the centre of the campfire. Will just kind of intensify and deepen. You focus into there and just let your mind drift off, and just everything becomes the blue right at the centre of that flame. And try to think of nothing, no one, nothing around, just you drifting into that flame and being part of it. Just kind of lead them through a little guiding, and hopefully this time, do you like me to do? What did we do? Like a wisdom check? Was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. I'll
That
make his wisdom
is
check.
a 24.
Ooh. And then
2 and 7, yeah, 24.
Nalfian, you go ahead and yep. Cool.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Makes me uncomfy.
Yeah, look at that. So, as the three of you are peering into the flames, Quilp, you're almost swept up by your own words, and not in a narcissistic kind of way, but just in a truth where you believe what you say, so that's how it works for you. You start to focus and then to let go, opening yourself up to that flame and then in turn to the universe, feeling the smallest breeze, the crackling of the flame, the shifting of the heat, all of those things together, you can feel them affecting you. And Din is able to settle into it a little bit, but not nearly as much as you, Nalfian. You, Nalfian, peer into the flames, and you, for once, let go. And you start to see these echoes, these memories that you've pushed down and kept away, trying to forget, but they just keep coming up, and you see them in the flames there. You see Shadow Nalfian, and you can't see much, but you feel the rocking of a ship. You hear Din yell, and you blink, and then you begin to hear other things. You hear your voice, older, sad, frustrated. You hear other voices as well. And then you see something. In this moment of deep meditation, confronting your greatest fears and shames, you see it again. And you shudder and breathe.
No, he's waking up. He's not going through that. Like, as soon as that image comes into his head, he's, like, waking himself up and pulling himself out of it.
Okay. So, that is what you see, Nalfian, this sort of, like, going through of constant images, shifting, changing. And then, when you do open your eyes, you're sort of breathing, intensifying. You can see, the first thing you see is Twig. After that. And while that is happening, Quill, you also, as you're sort of focusing into the fire, you begin to see shapes and forms shifting and changing. You see long stone corridors. You see hundreds of people walking along, doing their day-to-day things in these corridors, and you see what looks to be 3 people holding torches, standing in front of this giant, like blazing pit of fire. All 3 of them do similar movements, similar shifting, and then all at once lay those 3 torches into that large pit. And the flame erupts, begins to crackle and burn, illuminating the room, and so many of the shadows that existed within those corridors burns away. And the flames stop, extinguished, smoke rising from them. As you can see, Din kind of in shock at the flames extinguishing, Nalfian standing up and walking away, and you sort of blinking from the vision you saw.
Nalfian's gonna walk back, breathing a little heavily, and he's just gonna say, "Alright, let's find these fucking ruins. What are we wasting daylight for? Right? Let's go."
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yep, now we can.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I for some reason Discord just dropped out for that last section of what you're telling me. I got up to where 3 people by the pit and they laid their torches down.
Yeah, so 3 people, they did all of the same movements and shifting and changing. They laid their torches down. The pit of fire erupted, and all of those shadows, those forms, those hundreds of individuals behind them were just cast away. These shadows were cast away by that flame.
Okay.
And then the flame in front of you extinguished.
So the actual fire extinguished.
Yes.
Okay. Would Quilp kind of, did it feel like this was like setting off a bomb kind of thing, that they did some kind of ritual which then vaporized these people? Was it like seeing a vision or something like that, or
No, it
how much of an
almost
insight would you have?
seemed religious. Like the movements and way that they were moving was very scripted isn't the right word, but it was very purposeful.
Ritualistic kind of thing.
Ritualistic, yeah, thank you, yeah.
And then the kind of shadow people were just gone, but they were doing like normal daily activities. They were like living in these stone corridors.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well. Okay. So Quilp will kind of come back into himself and sorry now for you. Were you going away from the fire? Did I catch that?
Yeah, when he woke up from what he saw, he just walked away, took a couple deep breaths, and just came back and was basically saying we're wasting time. We need to just find the ruins and let's go.
Oh, you might be right, friend Alfian. That was a very confusing image I just was seeing there. I'm not sure if it was helpful at all. Some kind of ritual being done. Who knows what the meaning was? I couldn't really say, but I think you're probably right. We just need to find and see, and maybe it'll make more sense when we're there, I guess. But anyway.
Yes, I think that would be best. I was able to slow my breathing. I feel rather calm right now, but I have a feeling that
Well, that's a very good start. Yeah, indeed.
And kind of looking back and forth to the two of you, I think I did something wrong almost.
Not at all. Some days just slowing your breathing is a very good result, isn't it? And calming yourself, and sometimes that's what comes to me, but sometimes I get quite powerful visions, and I must admit this evening seems to have been one for me, and maybe even for friend Alfian as well, in different ways. I don't know, but nothing very clear. Sometimes you just wish you could be told it, don't you? You know, just it's a bit like that vision I had when I had to come and find you. Just kind of knew I had to find you and a picture of you by the fire, but I had no idea why or what. And ineffable, that's the word, isn't it? Ineffable. I read that in a book once. Can't understand what these mighty forces want from you. You just have to be tossed along by them like a little river sometimes.
Guess so. With that, having done that on one of the only nights that you needed to rest out in Nissanalor, everybody heads to sleep. Continue on until eventually you do get to the Dowie ruins. And you can see that this is one of the only areas in this more dilapidated forest that was sort of corrupted and overgrown by the insectoids that still has a tinge of red to it. A lot of those red fiery leaves and burning moss still burn bright in this area, but just dim. You make your way in through the entrance and in to the mountain. As you descend deep within this sort of ruinous hole in the ground, you can see that at one time it may have been well-worn steps that people had walked up and down, well carved and beautifully made, pillars of stone and engravings on the wall, but from the constant leaving, the comings and goings of the different insectoids, it seems as though most of that has kind of been worn away, just from constant back and forth. So, you continue to make your way into the Dowie ruin until eventually there's no cultists here, there is no insectoids that you're just easily able to make your way through. You pass through about 7 or 8 different rooms where there are different insectoids that are either dead or just already decaying. And then eventually you get to a long stone hallway. And you can see that all along the left and right wall, there is what looks to be this just hard and odd carved stone. It doesn't seem to have any natural form or factor to it as all of you are walking down this long corridor. And as you are, let's see, 15, 13, 17, 11, 15. Okay. Twig, you would be the first person to notice this with your having the highest passive perception. As you sort of squint your eyes looking up and down these dark corridors, you think you see eyes in the wall. And then you start to be able to see a nose and maybe a mouth. All of those odd carvings in the stone that seem to make no sense. Now it makes sense and you wish you could unsee it. All along the walls and the ceiling seem to be these dwarvish people just almost melded into the stone. And the worst part is, Twig, you can see those eyes looking at you and then blink.
It just takes like a solid moment to just soak this up.
I think we found what we're looking for.
Eyes just like still just like tracing around all the stone.
Can you guys not see it?
And as soon as she points it out, you can see those 2 eyes. And then saying it and beginning to look around, you can see more eyes open, surrounding you, till there's maybe 10 or 12 of the probably 200 bodies in here that have their eyes open at you.
Big's also just gonna
Are
switch
these-
to speaking in Dwarvish.
Hello there? I take it you're the Dowie?
We are the Dowie.
You can hear all of the different voices respond at the same time.
Big just like realizes how unprepared she is for this.
Well, it's nice to meet you all. Should I refer to you as something else? Do you have a name? I don't know, there seems to be a lot of you.
We are the Dowie.
Right. Well, I'm Twig. Grok, Hudazine, Alfian, Culp, Din. I think there's a few things we'd like to talk with you all about, if that's okay.
the Dawi serve.
Are they speaking in Dwarvish? Like in response to her?
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like gobbledygook.
Yeah,
everyone else.
very
Alright.
Translate.
rough.
Yuri
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very.
speaks Dwarvish, so she'll like whisper in common.
Okay, thanks.
What's being said?
Thanks, Harry.
I was gonna say. His next question was if they can speak common. It
So
just
easy
felt
enough.
like, more appropriate.
Din speaks Dwarvish as well, so
Oh, okay, bless.
any questions that can be had about translation, Din and Eurydice can handle those.
Okay.
You say the Dawi serve? Who do they serve? What, like us?
I will just say for like brevity, Twig in turn, for any questions that the party's asking, she'll just translate it in.
Okay, yeah.
Well, who
We
do we
serve him. Christ Kraktuk.
Istcrack. Not Groknog.
I wish it was Crocknock. Can you imagine?
Oh my word!
We found him, guys!
I ask why you serve him.
We serve and are the Dawi. We found her. We serve as the Dawi. We created to serve, and in turn found her to create what he wanted. Punished, frozen in stone, to rot but not die. We serve and are the Dawi.
Who punished them?
Our master punished. We
Why
were
would your master want to punish you?
We were to make army. We were to make army. Legion to fight. We were to serve. We are the Dawi. We made his army. Till one came to destroy his legion. Punished by our master, to rot but to not die. We serve. We are the Dawi.
So, what of the other Dawi settlements, civilizations? I mean, there's more than just, well, here. So, what happened to all of them?
We served. We all served. We all punished.
Joe, when Quilt saw the vision, were the people who were walking and doing their day-to-day stuff dwarven?
Yes.
Okay, so they were kind of the Dowie, presumably, who were then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And who? Sorry, I didn't catch. Who was the master? What was the name?
It is Christ Krak Tuk.
Christ Crack 2.
And here, I'll throw it in the chat there. Christ Krak Tuk. Lots of
That
K's,
was
lots
the
of
name
U's.
that Donovan gave as well.
Uh-huh.
Do we
Yeah.
do we know
Or the
anything
dark
about
one.
Christ Crack 2?
The one of darkness.
Oh right, like Big Bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty bad.
Good old father of lies.
It's kind of the one.
Yes.
Okay, proper big bagged. Okay,
Yeah.
and
You do be the bitch.
who have we asked? So Big Bad was wanting the Dowie to make an army to fight someone, and then they were punished because they didn't, or they lost the fight. Did we establish why they were punished?
They made the Legion, like they made it, and I guess they lost.
Did they say somebody, like a her? Somebody?
Yeah, there was a her.
Yeah.
So who were
Getting
they
that.
supposed to fight? Could be the next question, I guess. I don't know who that was.
That then comes down to how much we know as characters.
Well, I mean,
Because
just from what we learned in this moment, we could just say who is the her they're speaking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you supposed to fight? And what went wrong? Why did you get punished? Because if you made your legion, I just don't quite understand it. Why you get in trouble by the bad Chris Crooked Bok thing.
She destroyed the Legion. A servant of the Dawi. One like you.
And they all look towards you, Quill. All of the different heads, the stone cracking and crunching as all of their heads turn
Oh
toward
my
you.
word, that's extremely disconcerting. What? One like me?
Servants of the Dawi. Servants of the Drow. Servants
Oh.
of the Dark One. Servants of Christ Krak Tuk.
So this servant was just one person, or like a whole tribe of people?
One led them. She could control fire and earth. She destroyed the pillars, and we were punished to rot, to not die.
Not die. What a horrible thing.
And what are these pillars? What, are they meant to raise these legion or whatever?
The stone came crashing. Earth broken. Hundreds of thousands destroyed. Creations destroyed. Punished by him. To rot, to not die.
What are they? Where are they, at least?
The creations lie beneath the mountain, destroyed, forever gone. They were not there to fight. They were not there to serve.
Twig, ask if there's a way that this can be undone.
What is that in reference to?
Them being...
What's happened to them?
Yeah.
Is there a way to, I guess, free you from this wall? If you're all trapped here? I mean, I don't know if you... Well, I assume you wouldn't want to be, right? No one
We
deserves to rot.
Forsook the light to serve him. The light would not take us back. To rot, to not die.
Is the light a person or something? I mean, if you've been here for a while, I suppose there's a chance that whatever it is could, I guess, forgive you?
We serve him. Christ, Kraktu. We serve him. We make for him an army to fight. We failed him. We deserve punishment. To rot and not to die.
And you can see the eyelids grow heavy on each one of the Dawi as they slowly begin to shut. And you maybe have about one more question you can ask.
Do we want to know what she is? Who she
Well,
is?
she was the person that was, like, I guess, preventing them from building the army. Yeah, we've already answered that, right?
Yeah, but we don't know who that was.
I don't think they're giving us direct answers is the thing.
No. You could ask about who the
So I
light
don't
are.
think we'd get any more.
What was that, River? We could ask
You
the
could
what?
ask about who the light are. That's what
I
it
mean,
is.
I actually just asked and got no answer.
Yeah, I don't have a direct a question that would
ask-
give us a direct answer.
You could ask if he could come back. The Chris Cook thing.
Chris Kraktuk. Well, they're
Yeah.
waiting, aren't they?
I guess what his plans are, maybe? I don't know. I don't know how
Feels
much
like
help
it was
that
a
is
long
going to be
time
to
ago.
us, though.
What about how long have you been like this?
Well, I feel like Twig's gotten the answer at some point, because she, in her reading, she'd like, there was something about like when they disappeared, or was it just like it was in like the past?
It was a long time
That's-
ago.
It was just a
Proper
long...
long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. People
Yeah.
estimate that it was anywhere between 1,500 to 3,000 years.
Yeah, so I don't know if
He's
getting...
gonna suggest asking, is he back? Could he come back?
Chris
Yeah,
Kraktuk.
I mean, it feels pressing, and it feels like, I guess, the most we're gonna get.
Mhm.
Go for it.
So, does your master plan on, I guess, coming back? Trying to rebuild that army again? I mean, why do you still need to serve him?
You can see the eyes on each one of them go wide. All of them shift their heads, stone screeching and cracking to look towards you, Twig.
We serve the great lord of the dark, Christ Kraktuk. He will return. The seals of the 13 will be broken. And his prison will be broken. He will rip and tear through the weave, and he will be inevitable. We serve, and we failed to die, to rot, to only. And you can hear the voice slowly begin to trail as all of the eyes shut and close, and the stone returns to motionlessness.
Oh my word. Well, that can't be allowed to happen now, can it?
It might already be. A little bit. Talk to someone? He mentioned some of this. Maybe something similar. It's like it might be already kind of happening.
Oh. That doesn't sound too good.
It's
You wanna-
really not.
Explain a little bit more?
Where I get my powers from, yeah, I'm just gonna go out with it. Devil that gives me my powers, he kind of spoke to me and said that there were some things happening that he wasn't too happy about because basically everything could end, including all of his power, which obviously he doesn't like, and warned me about it and that we might need to help stop it at some point. I wasn't sure about all of that and maybe when that was going to happen or what was happening, but it seems we've got a lot of context now.
Well, he said something about seals of the 13 or 13 seals, or holding this dark thing in. We should try and find out more about those, because seals are things which kind of like stick things shut, aren't they? So
Yeah.
I want to make sure those sticky bits are sticky.
Well, I don't think sticking around here is going to help us anymore. Guess we can take a look around and see if what else there is to learn, but I have a feeling there's not going to be much.
Well, he's spoken directly to the Dowie. That feels pretty important.
Yeah.
I've got to say, when they all looked at me, I don't know how you just felt then, Twig, because they all looked at you, didn't they, afterwards? Like, oof, that was the scariest thing I've ever had happen in my life.
Do you know anything about someone who apparently was associated with all this?
Well, I've been racking my brains, friend Nalthian, and seeing whether I can come up with anything.
Make a history check, Quill. With advantage, because this is related to Deep Gnome culture.
Absolutely.
Deep Gnome culture.
What have I got? plus 6. That is 19.
19. Okay. So the sad part is there's never been a name, but there is a sort of prophetic like person in Deep Gnome history a long time ago. Thousands of years ago. there was a druid, a deep gnome druid, who had this intense connection with the elements, not just earth and fire, but as well as water and air. She was known as the Breaker of Chains because it is her responsibility, and her responsibility alone, that the small amount of deep gnomes that were able to escape the Underdark and break free of what always had been said to be drow capture, but seems to also be dwarvish capture as well, at least with the idea of the Dowie. This person is the reason that hundreds, if not thousands, of deep gnome were able to escape the Underdark and find their way to above ground and integrate themselves into society. See everything that she had seen in those visions. Blazing fires in the sky. Fresh breeze on a mountaintop. Soil that wasn't above your head. Soil that was beneath your feet. And rolling streams of water, the brightest blue color you've ever dreamed of seeing. All of those things became realities for the deep gnomes because of her. The Breaker of Chains, as she was called.
Okay. I'll pass that on, and I kind of feel like that would be Quilt would have read those stories. So actually, that would be like the most exciting character he's ever heard about. So to kind of make that connection to this is very, very exciting, and I'd love to find out more about who she actually was, because I mean, for our people, she's just like the most legendary and incredible person that has ever existed. So, Breaker of Chains. I never knew anything about this. Defeating the Dowie. We always thought, and I'm terribly sorry to say this in this company, but that it was the drow, like Nalfi and your folks, that we were freed from, if you like, and didn't realise it had anything to do with these dwarves.
Well, maybe in town there's a library or two. Do some digging, see what comes up. I know Twig's been wanting to look around a bit.
And the ladies' library's probably got even more interesting books, and she said we could use that one, didn't she? So be a good idea.
Well, with more answers comes more questions, so I guess we know where we need to go.
Now, I will say that in this current area that you are, you can see the corridor does extend further. And you can see that there maybe was once a giant metal door, or a very large door that was on the opposite end of this corridor that you were walking down. That seems to have been destroyed, thrown open, and is now sort of scattered onto the ground next to the corridor, heading deeper into this more rocky, cavernous area.
Well, then we'll definitely investigate before we leave. Sorry, go
Yeah,
on,
I was
Gemma.
gonna say, like, after, like, I guess the Dowie had finished their little piece, and while the rest of the group are just talking among them, it probably was just like, you know, still just looking at the faces, just like kind of absently, like, moving closer to where that door is.
Okay. So, as you begin to make your way, you can see that there is a change from refined paved stone to definitely something that is much more rocky and cavernous and natural. You can see different stalactites and stalagmites just jutting up from the ground and like clawing down from the ceiling like fingertips. And as you make your way through, you can see that there is this giant hole in the ground And all around that giant hole, there are these different chains. Huge, 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 thick chains that seem to have these small magical etchings on them. Of course, now dispelled, but you can recognize the magic, all of it based in abjuration and keeping things where they are, now seemingly broken. And easy enough, you can put two and two together, and it's fairly obvious that this is probably where the Breed Mother was kept, where she was locked away and held in a dark cavern with no food, at least that you can see, no water anywhere you can see, no sunlight, no nothing, just darkness.
And that's the only thing that's down that end.
It's the first thing. So, seeing that, everything there, and then behind where that giant hole is, blocking, at least what the Breed Mother probably was blocking, you can see this stone staircase that seems to head into the mountain and then climb up. And then it's up to you if you all want to climb those stairs.
Yep.
Yeah, Trid would ask. I
Okay.
guess not to go alone.
Yeah, nah. I'm right behind her.
Okay. Alrighty. So, with that, all of you head up those stairs until eventually, after about 40 minutes of just climbing stairs, just one after another, this endless circle, it eventually opens up. And you can see that the room that you enter is this large, maybe 40 by 40 room that seems to be deep within the mountain, but near the edge. As some of the left wall is entirely gone, and there is this cold breeze that immediately hits you as all of you get up and out. And you all can see that in this room, looking out over the snowy forest near the mountain range immediately, especially those higher elevations, but then looking out over Isinalor as well, you can see there is this large brass brazier that is sitting in the middle of this room. No flame burning in it currently, but you can see on the back wall and the other two, not the one that is knocked down, that is showing the view, you can see that there are 3 torches on each side of the room.
I wonder whether this might be what my vision was about.
What, you saw this room?
I wouldn't say it was this room, but 3 torches and well, it was a pit of fire in the vision I had, and there were 3 people, and they made some kind of like movements and then lit the fire, and it made something happen. But I mean, like we've been saying, it's so hard to know what what we're supposed to do. But
Do we get anything you've read, done, like, say anything about any of this?
I imagine not.
No, yeah, no history check necessary. Twig wouldn't know anything about this.
could Quilp go and have a look at this brazier? Has it got any carvings, anything that looks reminiscent of what he'd seen?
Yeah.
On the torches,
investigating the brazier, you can see that there is writing inscribed on it, sort of carved into this brass bowl. And let me see, what languages does Quilp speak?
Common, Underdark, Gnomish. And that's it.
And you said primordial, right?
Oh yes, Primordial, yeah.
So, Quilp, as you are looking at the script on here, it is close to Draconic in script, but it is primordial. Sort of symbols that denote meaning. It's very simple, as primordial is typically a way just for elementals to communicate with one another. A very short and to the point language, same as what is written on this brazier. And inscribed on the brazier, it says, "A burning flame to protect these realms." And that is it.
Well, I like the clarity, I have to say. And he'll kind of turn around to the rest and just his wide grin is just going from one ear to the other. I've been asking, haven't I? I've been saying all I want is some clarity, and here we go. It says a burning flame to protect these realms. I mean, you can't get clearer than that now, can you? We need to light the flame. No, I can't quite reach those torches, but maybe if you could. Oh, we need 3 of us to get the torches. Do you think you can help out?
Nalfion just looks at Eurydice.
How high on the wall are they? Actually, it doesn't matter. She'll just.
Wait a second. What? You're gonna take them down, bitch? You make fire, huh?
Hold up. Before Eurydice does anything. Because, like, she could probably see that, like, Nalfion's looking at Yuri and probably make the same connection.
Is it a good idea for Eurydice to be lighting them?
Like, wouldn't it be?
Well, we need to get them down first, but I don't think the way of lighting the flame is a problem, is it? I mean, you said that your devil friend that gives you powers, and I don't quite understand any of that, but I'm sure we'll have a nice chat about it sometime, Eurydice.
Well, I think it's the devil thing which is precisely the problem.
But apparently...
If it's meant to be a protecting thing, then
Oh, well... I think, I'm no offense now, Eurydice, I think this is bigger than any devil thing. This is on a different kind of level, and your devil friend said the same thing, didn't they? That they were going to kind of be a bit irrelevant if the Chris Jack managed to get back out again.
Yeah, irrelevant. Won't just lose his job. Everything. I'm sure it'd be fine. I can just. He looks very kind of like stumped and.
All right. Nalfin's just gonna walk over and grab the torches.
Okay. Yep. They're just in simple brass holders. You pull them off.
All right. I feel like he's lit many things ablaze in his past, so
Nalfin's an arsonist?
I don't know. Flint and steel somehow, brush it, like you light a match, scrape it against the back of his boot, which is a big-ass torch. However he does it, he's gonna make it light.
Yeah, flint and steel,
right.
Sparks, the torch is light. All 3 of them burning.
Alright, I guess toss them into this brazier, right?
No. When he sees Nalfion starting to like look as if he's going to toss them in, Quilp's going to go, no. This is just a moment. that we gotta do. I mean, I didn't see the vision for nothing. I mean, there's a whole thing we gotta do. So you're gonna have to listen to me and just do movements when I tell you to do them. Now we need 3 people. So now if you wouldn't mind holding one of those torches, and maybe Twig, if you'd hold one of them as well, and friend Grok could hold another one maybe, and then, or would it be easier if I demonstrate? Maybe if I hold one and then Twig and Nalfian and you wouldn't mind holding them as well, and then just watch what I'm doing and try and copy.
All right. Nalfian will give a torch to Twig, and then look confused.
Do you know how to do this, Quilt? I mean, I feel like it'd be bad if it's not done the right way, right?
Well, I quite agree with you, Miss Twig. I absolutely agree with you, which is why you need to watch carefully and just do what I do. Now I'm going to do it slowly, but I've got pretty good memory, and I remember what they were doing in my vision, and now that it's all so lovely and clear, I think we're going to be okay. So don't you worry, Miss. And it's all going to be absolutely fine. And he's going to start slowly doing the kind of ritual movements that he saw in the vision, and kind of carefully watching Twig and Nalfian. I'm sure Nalfian will have no trouble, but kind of like almost like a really slow thing to just check and make sure that they're following along okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to roll of
We'll
any
take the most
kind?
utmost care.
Yeah,
Oh,
Nalfian's gonna
No.
follow.
No roll necessary, especially Twig taking Quilp taking your time to really go through the motions, remembering it and showing them, and the fact that neither one of these two are gonna fuck around in this moment. You do the rituals, and with every successful movement, the torchlight begins to grow brighter. It starts off at this dull red, right, as a torch at a flame at the coolest part, and then with one movement to an orangish red, then to a more brighter yellow orange, and then moving to more of a blue. It's sort of like bright blue, and then eventually to this white hot with the final movement, as all 3 of you standing on different sides of the brazier, these white hot torches just burning this blinding light. All 3 of them, all of you follow Quilp, setting the 3 torches down into the brazier, and there's a moment where the 3 flames touch, and there's almost this tornado that begins to whirl around the 3 torches, as then the torches themselves are removed from your hands, removed from the flame. The flame on the torch is extinguished. They slowly float back to the holders and set themselves in it. And then this roiling mass of white flame just spinning around, circling itself, one after another, after another, after another, until eventually it settles. And there is just this white and gold roiling mass of fire in this brass brazier. Just crackling and burning. No wood, no coal, no nothing. Sustained flame somehow. And the flame begins to grow. Grow and grow and grow until it stands maybe 6-7 feet tall. And you can see this form begin to peel away from the flame, an arm raising, a second arm, legs, and a head. You can see a mouth begin to open, and small divots where eyes should be. All of it, this roiling, white-hot fire. And Quilp, you have a moment of recognition as soon as the entity speaks.
Will,
It is good to see you again. And as soon as the voice speaks, you know that this is Kosath, the Bright Lord, the primordial entity of flame.
It's just beaming with delight. We did the right thing. I did what you wanted me to do. I didn't even know what I was supposed to do, and yet we still managed to do it. Thank you.
You are very brave and very smart, Quill.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You are ready. And you can see this flame entity begin to drop down to one knee, and that hand of fire reach up, and one finger presses onto your forehead, and you can feel this almost searing pain until it turns into this warmth. And you have a flash, another vision. This town, this city, all alight with torches and lanterns. You can see people's houses full of hearths, burning, keeping them safe and warm, lighting their area and lighting their lives. And you can see encroaching around this city. It seems like any city you've ever been to or any city you've ever seen. All full of average people just trying to live their lives. On the edges of that city, darkness moving in, inch by inch by inch. A farm here, a farm there, consumed entirely in darkness. Inching closer and closer and closer to this town, to people. And as he is just about to pull the finger away to stop the vision, you can see the darkness eventually reach the city, and all of those torches, all of those hearths, all of those lanterns are all snuffed out all at once by this darkness.
There's tears are kind of running down Quilp's cheeks, and he just says, "We gotta stop that. What do we need to do?"
You must find Zunyana Charyarn, the breaker of chains.
She's alive?
She is alive. I will set you on the path to relight the flames. He is coming, and you, and all of you who live in these realms, will need every bastion of light to keep you safe. Believe me, Quill. You are the person to do this. You are kind, caring, and have a heart of mercy. But I will tell you this. This darkness that comes to consume deserves no mercy, and any who serve it
deserve no mercy either. Do what you must to survive, to defend, and to find Zonyana. Follow the flame, follow the light, and you will find her eventually. Good luck, Quill. May the Creator light your way.
Thank you. You should try. I'll do my best.
And with that, there you go. Zonyana Sharion. So with that, the flame retracts back into the brazier and slowly turns back into a modest-sized flame. Maybe 2 or 3 feet tall, 4 feet wide, sitting in these in this brazier, burning bright, a white-hot flame. Oh, yeah, sorry. Kolsoth. There you go. Hey, yeah! My man. So, it settles back in, illuminating this room, and even the snow around the mountain, slowly beginning to burn it away, melting the snow around it as it slowly begins to slide down the mountainside. And you can see all of you standing out near this ledge. The area of Isanalor that was destroyed by the insectoids. Almost immediately, you can just start to see a tinge of red return to those areas. You can see primordial animals slowly begin to make their way back, as if whatever was keeping them away is now the same thing that is pulling them back. So, with that, it seems as though whatever was in the Dowie ruins is now thoroughly investigated. So, it's up to you if you want to try and stay and find anything else, or if you're just going to head back to Highland Pass.
I was finding a god was, kind of top.
Kind of enough.
He's
Talking
not
to a dead race, meeting.
He's
we're
not a
good here.
For the
god.
day.
He's a primordial
Basically a
entity.
god.
That's like one step above a god, man.
Yeah, he's better than a god.
Thank you.
It's god plus,
Exactly.
god prime.
Better than a god.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're going back.
Okay.
We're going back.
Been a long fucking day.
Alrighty.
Oh, JK. Wait, hold on.
Delphin needs a
What?
drink.
Wait, Delphi needs like 10 drinks.
God. I mean, it's not like fucking he wants to stay out like for that much longer, but she will just on the way back, just I guess as they're traversing through Isnalor, she does kind of want to see if she can just let her ears open maybe and just
Hear
that
the song.
just like really just focusing in and just like I don't know, she got a lot of optimism I guess from what had just happened and like seeing everything kind of open up, and so just staring at it just kind of, she's just gonna I guess remove that barrier she's kind of built in herself to just refuse to hear it.
Okay. And that is really all it takes. As you're walking, just take the time to listen. You can start to hear it. the sounds of the forest all around you, and not just the sound of birds chirping or small bits of flame crackling, but you can really start to hear the musical nature of it all. This natural orchestra that surrounds you on all sides. All of the different elements working together, all of the natural life working together, succeeding, living in peace and harmony. Now that the insectoids are removed, the cult of Markle is removed, equilibrium is returning to this area. And you didn't see it before this moment. But as you're walking and you finally start to hear, you start to see. Whether it be in the trees or melded into the trunks, hiding in the leaves or in the shrubbery, you can see all of these different Eladrin, all of these different dryads, just watching you. And then seeing that you see them, you can see a lot of them begin to smile and begin to leave, spreading off into different directions. You're not sure why, but as you're making your way back to Highland Pass and you listen, you get the feeling that that's good news for them, and that means something really good is happening. So,
I mean, as soon as she's like started to like tap into, I guess, the music of it, just absolutely like stops dead in her tracks. She's not even breathing, just like, you know, wanting to concentrate as to like make sure she's actually like hearing it. And then just, you know, really just taking that moment to just focus in on everything. Just like, you know, very, I guess, out of her surroundings, but like so tuned in at the same time.
Yeah.
And she's just trying not to cry.
And I will say that none of the rest of you see any of those dryads moving or doing anything except for Quilp. Quilp, you can see them looking towards Twig, smiling, and then leaving. It seems as though now you also have this connection to the natural world that you didn't have when you first arrived.
Awesome. Quilp's just gonna reach up and squeeze Twig's hand. Give her a big grin.
Yeah, I feel that's enough. She just kind of like jolts a little bit, just like, you know, getting, I guess, grounded again. And, you know, a couple of those tears just start to fall. And in a still kind of soft tone, she's just gonna say,
I can hear it. I can hear it.
Well, it's very beautiful. I'm glad you can, Twig. Feels good, doesn't it?
it does. I'm just gonna hug Quilp.
Oh.
Sounds
Just
of the
absolutely
forest
overjoyed.
all around you. You hug. And all of the rest of you are just sort of looking at the two of them.
I
And
mean, I feel like
it-
Delphi would be very happy at
Mhm.
this moment. Like him
Yeah,
and
'cause-
Grok both, because they were the like really hyping her up the last time they were here to hear
Yeah.
it, you know?
And all of you remember the conversation that was had with the Dryad originally.
Yeah.
Alrighty. But with that, you all make your way back towards Highland Pass in a week's time after leaving. Lots of time to reflect on what happened. And as you do get back, Isanalor, as I've said before, is very warm, where it is, in a very comfortable summer temperature. And then you arrive back in Highland Pass, where as soon as you sort of cross the line, it is just blizzarding, just sheets of snow falling down, especially now that it's getting closer and closer to midwinter. You can feel the wind sort of whipping in your face as you are beginning to just sort of like trek through the snow, like crunching under your feet. You can still see the beautiful like purple and white leaves growing off of the trees that you all in Geldervan repaired, that you fixed after their destruction. So as all of you get there and begin to settle back into what you were doing, we're going to make a short transition here to the end of month one. I know that we still have some research to do in month one related to the Dark One that Christ Krak took, and then also to House Forrester. I understand, but we did some Twig and Quilp stuff, so now we're going to hop to a Eurydice thing. So Eurydice, as you get back to the tavern, time passes, and eventually near the end of the first month, it gets towards the 20th, 21st of Wintercourt. And as it gets to that moment, you have a message that you would like to send through Din. Is that correct?
Yeah, she's gonna go grab Din. A time where he's like not busy during that day, where she's like she's been rewriting this note. She had like versions of it before they went away, and then she had to rewrite it like 5 times after that. She's gonna go grab Din and be like, "Hey, I need to talk to you away from everyone else."
Oh, okay. And you can see that Din's kind of in the middle of a Kingdoms and Castles match with Twig, and he says, "Twig, can we put this on hold just real quick?"
Please. I'm so sorry. I need him for this.
He nods. She went to the bathroom.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Twig. Here, Grok, take over for me.
Grabs him and then goes up.
Okay, you gotta try and play this card, then this card, and then you wait 3 turns, and then you play that one. You got it. And he sets it down into your hand, and you look up Grok. Fucking nonsense in the hand. Okay. So, Eurydice, you take him. It's easy enough. The common room, especially in the middle of the afternoon, is so empty. You can take him to a corner of the common room, probably right next to one of the hearths that are burning in the building, and talk to him. So as soon as you sit down, he says, "So, what's going on?"
I need you to send a message. Well, I need to send a message through you to someone.
Oh.
At Salamander Coast.
Oh, all right.
She gets out like a piece of paper that's obviously been like scribbled and changed a ton of times, and she's gonna like look at him and go, "This is gonna make no sense unless I give you a really brief history." Okay, so you're smart. You're gonna keep up with this fine. I just need you to not freak out at any point. Okay?
Okay.
So, pact with the devil thing, all that kind of stuff, we know about that. This devil asked me to kill someone in the Salamander Coast because apparently her demon doesn't like him. So he was gonna try and get this girl to go and kill him, so I had to go and kill her. But apparently, she's not a problem anymore in that respect because she's going to, or has probably by this point broken away from that devil. So I need to message her because also, devil was like, yeah, you two will probably have a partnership in the future, which is why I knew about kind of what this darkness thing was, because he told me about it, and that this person is important for that, and whoever her group are. So I need to talk to her.
You, get the, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's...
Got it? Yeah.
Yeah? And he kind of is just like stone-faced, just frozen in this like perplexed look. You know what? Even if I don't all the way understand, I think it makes whatever this message is going to be a lot easier for me because I'll tune it out and I'll just kind of let the magic happen.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
can't do it myself. I kind of need you for it.
No problem. I'm happy to help. And you can see him trying to force a smile like, oh, this bitch is crazy.
She's giving him a look of, I know I'm crazy, please.
At least there's an understanding. That's what's important.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm guessing Yuri just kind of like, I don't know, puts her hand on him and then the message?
Okay. So as you begin to send the message, you feel the connection begin to form. And before you say the message, we actually have Bianca from
I mean, I am, but
from the Salamander
I always
Coast.
have time for this, so.
Yeah. Okay. So, pretty much how this is gonna work is, you're ready to see. You're gonna send your message, and Bianca, you can take a hot sec to think about it and then respond however you would wish. Now, just so you know, this message would be coming to you as you are getting ready to go to bed on the night that just ended in Salamander Coast. So, right as you got to the Tier Inn, getting ready to head to bed, eating a little bit, it's right then. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
This is so much worse because you're here. Okay.
That's all I didn't want to tell you.
So, right, the message is, and this is gonna be fucking awful. It's, hello, I'm Eurydice. Whatever Issen said, don't want to hurt you. Apparently we're allies against something Dowie, 13, seals, darkness. Hope you're well. Please reply.
Top tier.
God. Bianca's gonna be
words.
like, I wrote out 25 spots so I could mark it off as I go because I don't count very well. Okay, so she's gonna be like lifting blankets to like get ready to be in bed, and then she's like just gonna stop just mid like blanket lift, and then she'll say, "Hi, Eurydice. I'm glad to hear that. I know we're supposed to be allies. So, I don't know. I have so much to ask." And then she's gonna realize she got to 25 and be like, "Oh shit, that's how the spell works." And then like run over to Keothy. Be like, "Hey, Keothy,
Yes,
quick thing.
Bianca, what is it? What's going on?
I'm so sorry. Okay. And she's like clearly kind of panicked and frazzled.
It's okay.
Remember
Calm down. What's
how
happening?
I know. So Eurydice, remember that from Nalthian? Yeah. She's talking to me, and I need to send her a message back because I burnt out all my words.
Yes, immediately. Please. And she grabs your hands, and Din...
They're also clammy now.
Oh, your hands are so clammy like
know,
they were before. Oh. It's okay, just breathe. And as you're doing that, Din, sort of the magic goes through him, and he says, "Oh, Eurydice, I do you want to send another one, or?"
How many times can you do this?
I can do it one more time.
Well, I'm gonna send my message so she can respond to that one.
So yeah, just as like he's preparing, Din is preparing to cast the spell with her. Eurydice, you get a message in that moment right before he's about to cast the spell.
Yeah, and she'll say, "Oh my gosh, we need a longer conversation, please tell Nalfian. Vidri al Lotha Suri Saru das Fike. Sleep well, little bird. You are love.
Eurydice fucking stops. She just. She was like listening to the message and was like, okay. And then just, it got to that point, her face just went, huh? She's heard Nalfian say that, right?
No.
She not? I thought she would have heard him whisper at some point.
Yeah, but you don't know what it means. But now you
No,
do.
I don't know
Fuck, I
what it
guess.
means.
Jesus Christ.
She would have heard
Sorry.
it. Instead.
That's okay.
Maybe
Correct.
She's gonna go like, holy shit. Okay. I need to send another one.
Okay, yeah. Well, you get to respond to hers.
Yeah, you can
I'm
respond.
gonna respond to hers. Okay, cool.
So much talking.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, tell him that. How the hell do you know that? We do need to talk more. Well done for breaking away from Ism. Encouragement. Then she's gonna say to Din, okay, send another one.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So you know about the darkness, the 13? What are you guys doing? What do you know? We don't know that much, except Owie.
Oh, Jesus. All right, here we go.
Condense it all into 25 words.
We know a lot. The 13 are back. We've met one. We're on our way to fix a wrong in the past to prevent it. There, that's what I could do.
Okay. Eurydice gets to reply. Does she get to reply? You do reply?
Does she get to reply? I guess I could ask.
Not replying anymore.
I think I replied to yours.
Okay.
So I think I could send another one.
Yeah, but that's it, because then Din can't send anymore.
Yeah, okay, so Keothy, okay, so one more time. Can we do one more time before bed?
Of course.
Okay. And so doing it again. Gosh, I don't know how else to summarize it though.
Tell me about Nalfian.
Oh, I guess, yeah. Oh, I can say, yeah. That's the first part of the message that you sent. Oh, so much. We've met Nalfian, but not the Nalfian you know now. He was from the future. I know that sounds nuts. I can't explain it. Really. That's where she's gonna end it.
Is Din hearing these too?
Not the ones from Keo. You're getting those directly.
Yeah.
Her face is just a total mess of. Okay, I'll reply to that one. I leave you. Don't understand why you met future Nalfian. Or find a way to have longer conversations. we will stop the Dark One together.
Yay! Allies!
Woo! Look at
That
that.
was Felicity, but hey.
And Keothi and Bianca are going to have a conversation, but tune in on Tuesday to see what that conversation is.
We'll talk about it later.
Yep. Alrighty. Thank you, Felicity, for popping in. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Sorry for dropping some bombs. Have fun with that, guys.
Oh, God.
Thanks. I love you,
Yeah,
Felicity.
sorry, bye.
Nah,
Fuck. Was the most interesting conversation I've ever had in D&D. Please just look at Din and be like, so how much did you... God, you had the nothing from the future bit, right?
The what?
Oh, well, hey, met Nalfian, but from the future, and they knew there's this phrase that they can't have known unless they've known him. Just crazy. And they're trying to stop the Dark One. Apparently they've met one of them. The seals are breaking already. It's happening. I didn't think that's how the conversation was gonna go. We need to find a way to have longer conversations with them. They know apparently a lot. We don't.
Yeah, I mean, I can try and do more tomorrow, but I oh man, I don't know. It's
25 words isn't really ideal. It's all jumbled and back and forth.
let me try and do some research. Let me see if I can find something. I'm sure that there has to be a few mages in this town. Maybe I can find a way to have a little bit longer communication.
Yes. Yeah, I'll help you. We can.
Okay.
Okay. At least I know she doesn't want to kill me. That's great.
That is great.
Yeah, gamble on that because it would have been really terrible if she wasn't aware of that situation.
No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I kind of just guessed. Alfian from the future? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, how did he get to the future? What did he do you think?
I don't know. How did they meet? How did they go to the future? Did he come back? Did they go there? I don't know. I'm very confused.
I don't know either. You know, I think that we should stay about as far away as we can from this time travel stuff, because, whoa, boy.
Yeah, no, it's really going over my head.
Yeah, no thank you.
Mm.
Oh, I cry. All right. So, both. It was both of us. Alrighty. So, with that, as the two of you sort of sit and discuss over what ways you might be able to sustain longer conversation between the two of you, that is where we're going to go take a very quick 5-minute break, just because we have not taken one yet. And yes, we'll be back. So just a reminder for my players, when we go on break, I have to deafen myself, so Kayla will be the person to be like, hey, yo, everybody ready to go? And then we'll go ahead and come back. Okay? All right. So thank you all so much for watching so far. I hope that you've been enjoying the session. It's been a pretty good one, I think, and we'll see what happens after the break. BRB.
Back to Cyrus' house. Sorry.
Valid. Not gonna deny that.
Well, when the it is chlamydia, it's not so nice, you know?
Gross. What?
Ew.
Okay.
Nah, Cyrus is a lucky dip.
All right.
Oh.
Oh, God. Okay. Anyway, moving on. So, I listen to stuff. You just gotta. Please. Joe, please. Joe, please. Mark, where are you going? This is the most intense boss fight in the game.
Well, it's very beautiful. I'm glad you can, Twig. Feels good, doesn't it?
Urgent. Go way back.
That
but
wasn't
yes,
Cyrus.
mechanics.
That wasn't his name.
Yes, it's what I call him anyway.
So you
Best
his-
friends
you
being
wine?
urgent.
As long as we're talking about it, boats are kind of scary. So that's my expert input. I want to be on land.
Thought we might share a bit. Answers for answers.
Why would I give answers to an enemy? You don't think I can smell it on you, her mark?
Because I want to be rid of it and her forever.
Make
Is
a persuasion
vengeance
check.
no temptation to you?
Make a
We need to put a stop to that. That makes me very uncomfortable.
Well, let's worry about the tyrant that's coming here first, shall we?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm a functional member of society.
Debatable. If I had a negative 10 to insight, I would still call you on your bullshit.
All right. So for the summary today, do Quilp summary, and then I'll do the real summary. I just want to hear what Quilp thinks happened last session.
Okay, cool. Absolutely, not a problem.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh, we're ready. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, right.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god.
The fuck is happening?
Yeah, that's
how
bullshit, Joe.
How the fuck
That's
does that
bullshit.
happen?
That's bullshit.
Do you still have inspiration?
You do.
Yeah,
You do.
use your
You
Christmas
do.
inspiration.
Use your Christmas
Use your
inspiration.
Christmas
You need to
inspiration.
use that inspiration. Oh my god.
I want to use the inspiration.
That's bullshit.
Do I remove this again?
You just roll the one. You just roll the one. You just roll the one. It gives you a reroll. It's like a point of luck.
I can't reroll both of them.
No, you can't reroll both of them. Just a normal roll.
Are you fucking kidding me? Joe, no. Throw it out. Throw it out. I call a fucking foul. A fucking call a foul.
So,
Because we're gonna attack
LS?
the pretty cool.
Did not have all the ingredients of said cocktail when I made it.
I like blinks.
It's a metaphor, I'll tell you later.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry. She's just gonna hold up her hands like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I did say I didn't promise any.
And if the world has almost been destroyed countless times, what's one time more? Let's just keep it at almost.
I have faith in that.
I mean to be so forward, but I've often been told I'm the horny one. See what I did there? That's pretty funny, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've been saving that one special for
I am
you.
very proud of you. So you saw that.
Oh, I did.
Sorry.
Yeah, so,
Also, down here.
Oh, down there! Okay.
Ooh.
Yes, down there.
You can tell because there's an axe. Yeah, Oshima will relate this and say, the epithet on the blade.
Welcome to what is yet to pass. And as he stares at you with eyes of sadness and regret, that is where we're gonna end tonight's session. Oh my god.
Are we selling hash for fucking bombs?
Are we the baddies?
Her little personal pouch is gonna be full. You bet your ass, but she will still.
I am never going to be able to go back to my family in Ireland, am I?
Probably not.
I'm just not getting in the country anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
Into each other. As I said, I have a feeling we'll be there presently. Perhaps let's go right for now. And by that, I mean
right.
left.
Wait.
Is left to the sarcophagi?
East. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Ishima's right, but our left.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna... Y'all...
My head. Okay.
Wait, just say east.
Alright, we're gonna go stage right.
West!
We're going west.
Alright. Damn it!
Okay.
Right? Is that... Wait, oh shit, do I have it wrong?
That's, yeah, east is, if you're looking at it, like, on the...
Beetle armor it is.
I'd say... maybe that's on the bottom end of the priorities, if excuse the pun.
I hear Joe dying in the next room.
Oh, yes. Bottom end. Very well. I'll keep an eye out. Anything else?
See if he wants to look at it too.
No, I'm not busy. I was just kind of just doing some stretches. I wasn't doing anything. I don't know. I don't know what. Okay. Yeah, what's up?
Hey.
Yeah. What's up? What do you need?
Sorry, I just don't.
You're making me laugh and I can't roleplay. Okay.
Sorry. What pitch is my voice normally at, Bianca, please?
Darling, I don't think you have...
I'm so sorry.
I was fucking knackered, Yuri. Fuck me.
I was drunk, and usually it's you guys, and I was just not thinking totally.
It was a late night. Everyone had a few drinks. I understand. I'm just surprised you remembered you asked in the first place.
Oh yes, I tend not to get.
Listen.
It's not. Well,
That's fucking well easy, Yuri. I'll fucking help you kill him. I'm not.
It's just one thing that I need to do. But I'm worried because supposedly this woman, Bianca, I think her name was, she serves...
I mean, cats are cool too, but it's whatever.
I like cats. That was the compromise. I wanted a cat, he wanted a dog, and so I compromised, and I said, as long as the dog's, like, quiet, I hate dogs that bark at everything.
Me too. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm digressing. But, one day, I had a job. I went...
I gotta vote for Goblin King, because we have two imposters, and if they get a double kill, we lose, so he seems closest with no alibi.
The planky goes.
If we lose, I apologize. Oh, you're all dumb. Now they need a single kill. Well, that was just hurtful.
Well, we got to vote tough Ryan now because.
Oh,
fuck! Oh fuck!
Oi, Goblin King! Oh, I saw him fly out from the crow.
I think what I'm getting at, my friend, is that if I ever fail them, I trust that you won't.
Oh no, I won't. I'll burn half the world down just to make sure I catch the bastards in the flames.
Right. And I fucking love that about you, Grok.
So if you this can be a tutorial round for Felicity. So you in the top left-hand corner you should have tasks. So like go to admin, swipe a card, go to the cafeteria, empty the garage. And what you want to do is you want to go to those places, and the way you can find out where those places are is up in their top right-hand corner. You should see like a little map.
Oh
Click on that, and you pull that up, and that'll tell you where the things are. And those little exclamation marks are where your tasks are.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna try and do those things.
Communication sound. I'm looking at you.
What? Sleeping dragon.
Call it T-bot. It's like a teapot bot.
That is an in-character and in-person laugh.
Haha, did I
Not-
slay the beast?
No. This friend wanted to visit you. And you know what? And she kind of like holds up the spider and looks at it. You see, these ones are actually...
Starts faints again.
She'll like nudge him with her foot again. Cyrus, come on. And I'll like try to smack him. Not hard.
Wow, these colors are pretty magical. Do you have colors like this, Mr. Giftman?
And like wave the kaleidoscope near the game.
He's compelled to answer all questions.
He is compelled to answer all questions. So he would go
Yeah, but
I
don't know.
If you go down, I
mean-
think we need to find a way to disguise you.
I mean, that's if he can keep it in his pants. I mean, your sword, of course. Nothing else. I mean, they are pirates after all.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Varnest, not that I do not trust you, but
speaking carrots right now.
I thought when she said I have to go tend to the garden, it was some kind of like,
Ethereal
you know, just
time,
yeah,
right?
like I need to go tend to the garden. That is time.
No.
Just I'll be right back.
Nope, this time looks like a real one. It's right there.
Okay.
About
All
20
right.
feet away.
Hey, it's because she's tending to the perennials.
Okay, I think it'd be best if we split up now.
I think we need to let the coordinator know so she is prepared.
I'm sure I can cast sending, and she could probably be here for us to discuss in detail what we need. I'm guessing a total of 75 words in one day will not be enough.
Probably not.
I can cast the spell 3 times.
Hey, that's metagaming, sir.
Bardass knows that.
I am white. I am Marxus.
I'm brown.
I am yellow.
Give me a second. I'm just gonna.
I am Black, aka Captain Darrow. The real hero of the Salamander campaign.
Oh my god.
Fuck Captain Darrow, man.
I am
Child murderer.
He killed those bandits. I say good for him. He performed a public service.
Dara did nothing wrong.
No, I didn't actually.
And you said a 12?
Yeah.
Roll a 4.
Plus D4.
Roll a 4 and you'll win. Oh! Oh, so close.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Go.
Oh, wait.
Play with, and then he just wanted a
Well,
cookie.
now he's
so
got.
he said,
Now he's got a knife as well.
oh,
give him that.
He is 8.
Yeah, I had a knife when I was like 4.
I'm gonna wager you're a little bit more. Joe's gonna not mature. The
I'm very mature.
knife capable.
Yeah, let me guess, you gotta put it on your throat. You
Yeah.
put the mic on your throat. I'm sure that was terrible.
Yeah, I think we.
I'm so sorry if you're wearing headphones.
I hope we lost viewers.
Can we? Can I pull up the stream on here?
I'm ready, by the way. But the main use of it I saw that was truly badass was one of the players used Force Cage, and then one of my other players used Silence. So they basically just trapped an entire group of guards in a Force Cage, and then started just shooting them from afar, and they screamed silently like they were in a void of space until they were all dead.
So cool.
And we're back.
Yep.
They just... There's a brief moment where Twig, after he walks past you, there's a brief moment where you hear him kind of trip up a little bit and like kind of fall face first onto the ground. As how does Robert react when that happens?
You wouldn't pick up immediately. You kind of like be face down and say, "I fucking hate this place."
That was not great.
Okay, so Poe, you don't get a saving throw. You're just like this until either the spell ends or you lose a hit point. So as a mouse, Powassum Meep.
Nice. That's going in the quotes.
And Blossom Meep.
That's a 4, so that's cool.
Really pretty 4.
So she's gonna go ahead and get her Paramecia save. We are back. I am on the stream, and now I'm unmuted on Discord. All right, we are back, and we are gonna go ahead and dive back in. So just as a quick thing, one of our players, Kit, is currently running into some tech issues right now, where apparently nobody can hear him. So hopefully at some point in this sort of last hour here, that'll get figured out. So, but regardless, we're going to keep going. Yes. So,
Does the sound?
Oh. Hey, there he is. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, man.
Okay. So, picking up, we are going to go ahead and pick up in that same first month with now, we are going to be doing some research. Now, as I understand it, this was obviously something that was going to be spearheaded by Twig, but Quilp, you wanted to assist, and Din was also planning on assisting as well. Was there anybody else that Twig, because obviously Twig, half of this research that you want to do is based off of House Forrester, so is that something you kind of want to keep to a smaller number of people, or?
No, she would mention that she's planning to at least do research. Like, she wouldn't like go into details about what or anything, but if people want to tag along, they can tag along.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, Quilp would definitely tag along. He kind of thought it was his responsibility to show Twig where the library was. So, even though he'd have to ask people where it was, he still would want to kind of take her and show her.
Yeah.
Who's gonna help if she's not working?
Yeah, we can say you had that day off.
This is Nelfian's very happy that everyone's going to help Twig, but this is definitely not his forte, so he will stay behind.
You gonna gamble with Grok?
Yep. If you'll
rather gamble with Grok than spend time with Twig, I see how it is.
You've already destroyed his heart once today.
Yeah, you didn't take the necklace. This is your own damn fault.
He's already feeling it. No, he just doesn't want to be in the way. If everybody else is going, he feels pretty confident with at least Quilp and Din specifically. Like, he will say before you go that he does want, if you want to. He would love to hear what you find later. Like, he's very excited for you, but he doesn't want to be in the way. But you'll probably tell him to fuck off and won't listen anyway, so it's fine. Ah, go on. I'm just kidding. Have fun
Terrible.
at the library.
Screams.
All right. So we have our, and I'm assuming Grok, being the astute scholar that he is, he's coming to do research as well, right?
Yeah, of course. Nah, fuck.
Okay. All right. Well, worth a try. So we have Twig, Din, and Eurydice and Quilp heading off to do some research. So, Din, while he's here, there's obviously some things that he's going to be researching specifically in part with Eurydice, trying to figure out a way to communicate over long distances sustained. So that's what he's going to be working on. Twig, working with Quilp and Eurydice, what are you going to be working on?
Well, I mean, I did some of my little research questions. But
I
guess
see.
But yeah,
I
so
see.
she's
I'm
very
saying,
much...
what are you going after first?
First?
Mm-hmm.
First, she just, I guess, wants to know what happened. Like, she wants to better understand, I guess, who the house were / what the land was, because I imagine they're just like connected anyways.
Okay.
And just get a vibe for, I guess, that whole deal.
Okay. So, because you're in no rush here, I mean, you can spend a week going back and forth from the library. Some days Eurydice might not be there, other days she might. Quilp will always be there. He doesn't have a job. And Din is busy trying to come up with this. So then you, Quilp, and Eurydice sometimes begin to sort of look through older tomes and books about trying to find anything related to House Forrester. Now, luckily, because you were an assistant to making sure that the city stayed alive, within the main library in Highland Pass, you are allowed to go into the more sensitive information that is typically only reserved for lords and ladies of Tarkir or Iverion visiting. At the...
I mean, not Din.
Yeah, but Din is not officially Brandon Bartold yet.
Right.
But at the request of Lady Lapierre, you're able to have access to those. So, you do find information related to House Forrester. Now, I'll tell you right now, you do not find, and I'm sure that you probably guessed this, all of the answers to all of your questions, okay? This is what you do find over the course of about a week and a half, 2 weeks, after finally getting back from Isinalor. You find, and the information is sparse mostly because Highland Pass is a Tarkirian city, and House Forrester was an Iverion house. So there is some information here because it is a neighboring, it was a neighboring territory, but still. So, House Forrester was subservient to House Kjaldarson, which Kjaldarson has always been the kingly or queenly house overseeing Iverion. But they also, their purpose was to serve as a diplomat, not just between Isinalor, but between all of the natural elements. Whether that be if there were any planar holes to the elemental plane of fire or anything like that in the area, they were the people who were to go to those areas and be the diplomats to those people. Anything related to the forest or to nature in general, they were sort of the middleman for all of that. The liaison or the emissary, diplomat. They also, you can have reading that they had 3 bannermen, where there were 3 houses that were subservient to House Forrester that existed in the area surrounding Isinalor. The first one is House Redding, And I'll go ahead and drop all these in the chat for you, so that way you don't have to. Okay. House Redding. It's the first. Thank you, Din. He's taken a special note for you. House Redding. Their house and region specifically existed on the surrounding mountainous area on the peninsula, on the southern peninsula of Iverion. So if you look at the here, I'll go ahead and pull everybody to it real quick. Pull all to scene. There we go. Hopefully it'll work. So this sort of southern tip right here, in that yellowish gold area, right above the grays, right in the unclaimed disputed area, that is where House Redding operated, in that sort of northern area. They were known as the Watchmen of the Realms of Iverion, and pretty much they were in charge of managing any ships that came in, making sure that anybody came into Iverion, that they had no ill intent, things like that. And they were a bannerman of House Forrester. The next one is very interesting to you and to anybody that you're with, and that is House Bywater. Now, House Bywater were actually the original owners of Dragon's Bay. They were gifted that land because House Bywater was actually founded many years ago, around 350 years ago, by Brandon Bywater. And Brandon Bywater was a well-known hero, and a well-known hero in the mythos of Iverion, because him and his companions that he traveled with fought back an ancient red dragon that was terrorizing and threatening to destroy Iverion. And it was between him and his companions that slew that dragon, and the king gifted them that land and became Dragon's Bay in honor of their defeat of that ancient red dragon. Second one. And then the third house. And this is the house that Twig has heard of. House Harwood. House Harwood was a very minor house. They didn't have a grand keep like the other two. They had several small manors that were spread out throughout the forest because they were the stewards of House Forrester, the most loyal of their subjects, always willing to serve and do whatever they could. Now, the other thing that you find through reading, specifically looking up things for House Forrester, is their disappearance is very odd. There are about 12 different stories in different documents that have been organized over the ages, or over the past many years. But it seems as though the most reoccurring story revolves around a coven of hags. Now, Twig's knowledge of that would be very limited, and it would be something that Den and some of the others might be able to elaborate a little bit more on, as stories of hags are very common for parents to tell their children. But covens of hags are very powerful. Anywhere between 3 or even more than that can hold a great deal of sway, not just over a town, but over an entire region. And these hags, apparently, House Forrester, at least according to these stories, made a deal with these hags, and they were not able to pay back the deal, and the hags took back what they were owed. And that is sort of the prevalent story revolving around what happened in that area, is the hags took back their land that was owed to them. Now, the thing that's interesting is there is nothing on the disappearance of House Harwood, on House Bywater, and on House Redding. So this is the thing that's going to take a little bit more research to find out. The basic stuff, easy peasy. But I'd like Quilp, Twig, and Eurydice all to make investigation checks to see if you can kind of piece together what happened to these 3 other houses.
That's a nat 20. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Fucking perfect.
It's a 14.
14, okay.
17 plus 6 plus 6.
Said 17 plus 6.
What was it? Sorry, investigation?
Investigation, yeah.
Yeah, oh no, 20.
20, okay. All right, so
Yeah.
dirty 20, natural 20. So Eurydice, you are kind of getting caught in this same book that is talking about the different known lineages of the different houses, trying to see if maybe there's a clue in the names of the children or anything like that, and you're just kind of going back and forth and you can't really find anything. Quilp, you find a very interesting tome that is actually a dwarvish history book. As most people in the world of Illica, they are divided up into cultures, where it is fairly racially homogenized, but culturally diverse, where you can find dwarfs, gnomes, humans, furbolgs, all living in the same city. It's just that they all believe in the same cultural things. There are two races on the surface, right? Not considering the Underdark or any other planes of existence, but on the surface that do not do that. For the most part, that is mountain dwarves. They prefer to stay in their stone, and Goliaths. They also stay in the Hearthstone to the Salamander Coast to the north. Those two groups of people, they stay rather secluded and rather racially similar. This is a historical account of the events of the 7th era of man and human in the material plane in the region that you would know as the as Iverion, the Isles of Iverion. And you discover that House of Redding, that their keep actually fell into the ocean. Like, their entire peninsula was sort of shifted and then destroyed. Fell into the ocean, and that was kind of the downfall of their house. And that happened maybe 45, 50 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And it seems as though House Redding was not only accused of trying to aid in a rebellion against the king, but also apparently they had made deals with the dwarves that they didn't follow through on, and dwarves being creatures that hold grudges more so than any other race, apparently they decided to pay back that debt in blood. Now, the one thing that is in this book in particular, this is written by a dwarf, and you can tell that the writing is very exact and literal, just what this dwarf had heard. And then there are small personal notes in the back of the book. And you sort of flip back to the back just to see if there was anything on that particular event. And the dwarf who wrote this book, this history, actually said that while dwarves do hold grudges, to desecrate the ground and earth and whatever rare minerals could have existed underneath that part of the peninsula, that wouldn't be something that the mountain dwarves that exist within Iverion would do, just plainly. But that's what he heard, so that's what he wrote in his history book. It just doesn't seem very logical to the author of this book. That is what you find.
So the dwarves desecrated the minerals underneath this area. Okay.
Yeah, especially the one who wrote this believes that's something they would never do.
Okay.
If something could be harvested from it, they want it.
Yeah. Excellent. Obviously, share all of that with the others.
Mm-hmm. And then, Twig, through your reading, you discover what happened to House Harwood and to House Bywater. House Bywater was sabotaged, actually. There was a silent takeover from a merchant named Duradine Dupree, and you actually find a small, personal, leather-bound journal in this area that was of the hand of Lord Tommen Bywater III, the last lord of the Bywater family to rule Dragon's Bay. Somehow ended up in this small library in Highland Pass, but luckily you found it. And it talks of his last moments as lord, and how Duradine Dupree had sort of infiltrated himself into the city, bringing gifts and giving everything, having private meetings with the lord. And then Tommen Bywater presumes that then Duradine Dupree left for Raven Rock and informed the king that Lord Bywater had a hand in the rebellion and aided those who sought to overthrow him. And with that, King Kjaldarson, the current king of Iverion, when he was almost recently crowned, had House Bywater executed for treachery against the throne and against the crown. And you can see that in his journal, he talks of running and escaping, but then not being able to live with himself and what his great-great-great-father, great-great-great-grandfather stood for. Brandon Bywater, the hero of Dragon's Bay, who slayed that ancient dragon, and how he wasn't worthy of the title. And how he couldn't live with himself because he ran away from his namesake, and how he didn't deserve to live anymore. So House Bywater and House Redding both seem to be non-existent anymore. But then there's House Harwood. House Harwood, this is very interesting. You don't find this in a journal or a book of history about the area. Anything else you read about House Harwood? Instead, looking through tax documents of Highland Pass. Who pays what dues, who's living where, just as a Hail Mary to see if you can find anything on anybody that might have a name similar to yours. You find one. A name, Elias Harwood. An older human man living on the south side of the mountain ridge, near the southern gate. You can see that he is a sanctioned individual, where he has not relinquished his title at all, and he still lives as Elias Harwood, servant of House Forrester, but is wanted by the crown, wanted by Iverion. And for some reason, Tarkir has sanctioned them, in at least him, in Highland Pass. And that is about everything you find.
Do I get follow-up questions? I don't know, I don't want it to be too long.
Do you what?
Do I get follow-up questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I guess they're not really follow-up questions. That's probably a very bad way to phrase it. But I guess just going through all that and other things, is she able to find anything that seems reminiscent on like Nobody. I know that one's a long shot, but like
Yeah. With a natural 20 earlier.
Does that maintain?
I'll say yeah, as you're pouring through different tomes, trying to find something, having your Gandalf moment in Minas Tirith as he's like smoking his pipe and just flipping through the old crusty tomes. I'll say yeah. You find something that is interesting. You're not sure if it is related, but it might be. Now, while House Forrester still observed the 9 divines and the 4 primordial entities, they also had patron saints, almost, that they would pay homage to. Fey wild spirits, specifically these entities called Fey Wardens. They were these protectors of the Feywild, and what they would decide how much of the Feywild would bleed in to the material plane. And there are dozens of these Fey entities and what they would do. But there is one that sticks out to you. And it is because that one is the symbolism behind that particular Fey Warden was the Black Rose. And that entity's name is Naluvir. Naluvir was a protector. Whoever the lord or lady of House Forrester was, it was said that Naluvir was not far behind. And Naluvir had a great love for all of those of the House Forrester bloodline. And you find another personal journal that was just kind of tucked away behind like 7 different books that seems to be the small journal of maybe some merchant who was in the region of Hasran's Hollows shortly before and during the fall. Mostly talking of trade goods and what he supplied, but there is one personal note that you find where it speaks of a man in deep ebony armor that seemed to be lined with silver roses all over the armor, wielding natural magic and a massive longsword and fighting back these hordes of these odd shaped creatures, unnatural, fighting everything he could until eventually he let out this pained scream that caused all of the ground around him in as far as the merchant could see, in these thorny roses, that all of the creatures that were running and trying to attack, they just were caught up in these roses and pulled into the earth. And then when the merchant sort of blinked and looked back, that man was no longer there. And you can assume that that man and Naluvir are the same two entities.
Okay. One last thing, I swear to God. The other thing she wants to look out for is just anything that's, I guess, also has mentioning of House Markle.
Okay, that, even with a natural 20, you find nothing. It's suspiciously so, you find nothing.
Okay. And that concludes her research session, I guess.
Okay. I hope you feel like you learned enough.
Yeah, my hand hurts. What is this?
Oh, man. Okay. Well, cool. Very good. Alrighty. So, then, with that as your sort of research over the course of about that takes about 2 weeks to get all of that information, right? That's not just one day sitting in doing nothing. You have to go through a lot of books. Yeah, yep. A lot of stuff. So, with that, towards the end of the first month, now this would be after the conversation that Bianca had with Eurydice, or Eurydice had with Bianca, I should say. Shortly after that, just as Din and Eurydice are sort of coming back from the table, after all the research has been concluded, after going to that, right at the end of the first month, there is just this life that is now returning to the tavern, as it seems as though people are, starting to feed in for the night. And there's this sort of lightness and levity that is in the tavern now. Some music has now started to play as some bards have arrived and just starting to slowly breathe a little bit more life into the area. Drinks are being served. Any food that you've been ordering is being served. And in this moment, I would say, Twig, as you're just sort of doing whatever, maybe going over some of your notes that you took from when you were in the library, you see that in a far-off table, in the back corner of the room, there is there's a person that you see. And they are staring Grok down.
Well, she'd want to alert Grok to this, but she's not sure what she should do about it. I don't know if it's like someone he knows. But yeah, just give him a little nudge and kind of like point him in the direction of that person.
Does Grok recognize them?
Grok, as you look over there, you taking a moment to look at them, you do. You can see this sort of long white hair poking out of the cloak, this bristly white mustache coming off of each side of his lips. You recognize the older man that is Amrin, the bard, as he called himself all that time ago. Go ahead and show, just in case you forgot. And you can see eventually the two of you make eye contact, and he peeks out from his hood a little bit, and he sort of gives you a look if it's all right for him to come over.
Yeah, Grok will kind of like nod his head, but like kind of gesturing to come over.
Okay. So he will begin to make his way over. Moving alongside different people, walking gracefully through the crowd, he sits down at the table with all of you. And he looks to you, Grok, and says, I know that you're not going to want to hear this. But you're needed for a rather personal matter.
Right. Personal. I'm guessing it's not personal for you then, I.
Well, actually, yes. I didn't know it until just a few days ago, but it is personal to me now. Tell me, Grok. How do you feel about bugbears, Grok?
Is everyone kind of just like with the two right now?
Yeah, that's my question. Are we all at the same table, or
Yeah,
are
yeah.
they talking?
He came and sat down at your table and started speaking
Okay.
about this in front of everybody.
Then Grok will kind of put his drink down and say, not fucking good. Let's go. And just kind of like get up and start heading towards the door.
Wait a second. I'm sorry. Can someone slow the fuck down and tell me what's going on here? Are we leaving, Grok? Because I gotta get my shit first.
Let me just... No. Let me just see what's going on. Just hang about. Chill.
Nothing's gonna like look to Amron because he remembers the last time him and Grok kind of went off together, and he's just gonna narrow his eyes for a second, and then back to Grok. All right. You are going for a walk, then?
For now.
Now if he don't just close his mouth and I guess take a drink.
Okay. So with that, Amren will stand and begin to walk out with Grok. Now, Grok, you have your weapons on you, and as you're walking, Amren begins to tell you. One of your old crew is here in Highland Pass.
Like, what here now?
Aye, right here now, and from what our captain told me, seems as though they know where the others are. Apparently, your crew parted ways shortly after what happened And apparently, a woman by the name of Nova the Dog Thornton is here in the pass. And I think might be able to follow the trail, because your old captain, he's not exactly Davy Jones's favorite person. In fact, he's meant for the locker, he is.
Fine. But I get my way with him first. And the crew's mine.
Oh, you will? My only job is to make sure that you get to where you need to go.
Just point me in the direction. I'll do the rest.
So Amron points up and gives you a set of directions and says, "There's a shite tavern that way. Head up the stairs, second door on the right. You'll find her there."
Alright, sound. You might want to scarp her from the area. This ain't gonna be quiet.
I'll tell you this much. Near that tavern, there's a, well, near your tavern, there's a small lake near a tree. I'll be waiting there for you. 'Cause whatever you find, we're not stopping till we find him. Destined for the locker he is.
Kind of Grockle crack his knuckles and crack his neck and say, and spit in the ground and say, good. And then just walk off and, like, he's taking off, like, most thing, like, his anchor's behind him, he's, like, going in bare fist.
Okay. Alright, sounds good. So, you follow Amron's instructions, you can see him head back towards the other tavern, and you follow what he said. Make your way into a real, shit tavern, barely standing up tall. The snow that is currently resting on top of the roof is about enough to make it cave in on itself. The Cracked Ruby. Make your way in, and you can see that it is full of shady characters, just sort of looking up, looking you up and down, going back to what they were doing, murmuring and mumbling to themselves. And you head up the stairs. You can see that the innkeep, for a moment, this pudgy man with about 4 or 5 different chins, a white leather apron, says, "Excuse me, sir, would you..." And just sort of looks at you, and you look at him and just says, "Oh, hey, go ahead," and just goes back to what he was doing. So, make your way up the stairs. Heavy footfalls. Second door on the right. How are you entering? Jamie?
Okay. He's not like kicking the door down. He is just straight up opening the door.
Yeah, it's not locked. Push it open. And you can see raggedy, mangy brown hair, sort of caked together in certain areas with mud. A woman, maybe no taller than 4 or 5 feet. You can see then as she begins to turn around, just spouting this venom, I thought I told you fucking workers that you don't come. And as soon as her eyes meet yours, she just sort of freezes. And you can see her look towards her nightstand that's maybe about 15 feet away from her right now. A revolver sitting on it. She looks back to you. Thought you were dead.
You thought wrong. Go ahead. Reach for it. Won't help you.
You can see her take like 2 deep breaths. And in one clunky motion, she tries to grab the chair, throw it towards you to disorient you, and then sort of scatters, ends up slipping onto the ground where there was just some spilled ale, slamming her face into the ground, slamming her nose. There's this impact. And her nose is now bleeding, and she's just sort of trying to scrabble up to her feet to grab the revolver. In that time, you could be as close to her as you want.
How tall is she?
Maybe 4'11", 5'1", right in that range.
Oh, well, Grok will use like literally one arm to like lift her. Like,
oh, yeah, easy enough.
Against the wall.
Okay, yeah. So you just sort of like walk over towards her, and you just, before she's even able to grab the revolver, right after she's sort of recoiling, just blood pouring out of her nose, she just, you pick her up by the throat and slam her up against the wall, and she just sort of, no, I can make a deal. I'm glad you're alive, because
Shh. Where are they? If you don't sell me a fucking place, it's the next thing's at you. You fucking stinking mouth. I start breaking bones.
Listen,
He'll smash a kneecap in.
Oh God! Listen,
smash it, kneecap in.
Just screaming in brutal pain. Okay, all right. I don't know where all of them are. I only know where Dukes is.
Why?
He's in Saltport. He was there. He had some thing he was trying to do. He's trying to steal money from the fishers. He selling them broken nets and then saying that it was their fault for fishing wrong. That's where he's at. Saltport, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me.
No. Of course not. But you should have killed me. And he'll use aspects of the Dutchman.
Oh! And she just lets out this blood-curdling scream where she is just screaming, clawing at your hands, scraping in, trying to peel away the fingers, but can just get nowhere. Like, she is getting nothing right now as you're just revealing that aspect, the seaweed barnacles and tentacles just emerging and peeling off of your face.
And Grok will say, I'll see you in the rest in the locker. And he will get his other hand, get her jaw, and put his hand on her jaw and rip opposite ways.
Oh, So yeah, you just you let go of the throat. She gets this big gasp of air, and then just one hand on one and one hand on the other, screaming. You just tear and separating jaw, and then also the skin on the throat and part of the skin on the chest, just tearing it off like a band-aid. That wet squelching sound of flesh being torn from bone. As you sort of drop both halves onto the ground, you can feel that essence flow towards you as it fills you with vitality. And you can see at that moment the innkeep like burst through the door and says, "Hey, what's going on in here?"
And Grok will just turn, like, at this point he's dropped the aspect, but he's just covered in blood. And he'll just say, leave.
And you can see this sort of small dark spot begin to grow on the front of his pants. And he says, okay. And just like begins to run down the stairs and then out the tavern.
And Grok will just slowly make his way downstairs. Like, not cleaning up, he's just gonna stay covered in blood and just walk out.
Okay. Okay. So you make your way out and then back to the tavern.
Yeah, he's gonna make his way back to the tavern with the guys. But he's not cleaning himself up. He's just going in there.
Okay. So it's at the same inn where everyone else was at. So you have the choice to go in and tell them, because you have a feeling that wherever you and Amron are going, you're not coming back anytime soon.
He'll look in the window and kind of like try and get Nelf's attention if Nelf's still downstairs.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, his eyes didn't leave the door the moment Grok left. But I would say he's definitely checking all entrances and exits. So eventually, his eyes would kind of glance over to the window. And if he's like calling or signaling for Nalf, Nalfin's just gonna very carefully excuse himself from the table and head outside.
Okay.
And I just see him like covered in blood, right?
Grok, did you make any effort to remove it, or?
Nah, not at all.
All right. It's one hell of a walk you went on.
Yeah.
And Al just kind of like looks over his shoulder, looking for Amron, but I guess not seeing him.
I've found what I've been looking for a while. I need to be gone for a bit. I need you to cover for me. Because I've got to do this, and I've got to do it now.
Where are you going?
I don't know. But it's already started, and I ain't stopping till it's done. And Grok will kind of just like brush himself down, just gesture into the fucking blood that's ripping off him.
Nalfin will just kind of like take a deep breath and put like both hands on the top of his head, like trying to understand what the fuck is going on. And he's not gonna pry too much, but connecting some dots in his head. All right, so you got to do this. What the fuck am I supposed to tell the girls in there?
I don't know. Make some shit up. But just, and he'll kind of like put his arm on Nell's shoulder and say, be better than me. Just look after him. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just don't fucking get yourself killed. I do, kind of like having you around.
I won't. If you're desperate, if you need anything from me, just as stupid as it sounds, it'll work. Write a message, put it in a bottle, and let it go in the water. I'll get it.
Yeah, that Nalfian is giving him the strangest look. But he's not going to question it, but he's just thoroughly confused.
And then Grok will say, I don't know if you'll be needing this. You're not keeping it, but... And he'll give Nalfian the gauntlet and the flesh carving knife. Word of the wise, don't put that fucking thing on.
I hadn't planned on it. But, I'm fucking serious. Don't die.
I won't. And he'll gonna do that, like, awkward, like, hug thing that guys do where it's like, it's hard, and then he'll, like, slap Nalfian about it, like, I'm still a man.
Yeah. Nalfian will do that clear throat thing, and then... Yep.
Like I said, just watch him and be careful.
Yep. I will.
I'll be back. I can't miss this chance. I'll tell you more. But I've got to do it now.
If I had a chance to find what I was looking for, I wouldn't hesitate. So, do what you gotta do.
Right. And I'll kind of like, slap Nalfian on the face and say, right, in a bit, kid. And just take off.
Okay. So, you walk round towards the back of the inn, and you can see Amryn there waiting for you. The water in this small lake begins to broil and bubble as you stand next to him. He looks to you and says, word of advice, don't hold your breath. Breathe it in, it makes it easier. And Amryn will just begin to walk as if he was walking downstairs till there's no sight of him.
Grok will kind of like look back to where he was speaking to an elf and the inn, hesitate for a minute, then just take a breath and just walk in the water.
Okay. So, looking back, sharing a moment with Nalfian, you have this odd bit of deja vu because Nalfian winks at you, and that feels very odd in that moment, but you smile, and smile fades as you look down towards the water, and you know what you have to do. A debt made is a debt paid. And so, you begin to go down into the water, breathing in the water, and embracing the Dutchman. On your way to find those that betrayed you all those many moons ago. And with that is where we are going to go ahead and end tonight's session. Yay, good session. Oh, I am sad man. Sad DM. It's okay. You guys don't need to say anything. I can do all the talking
We
from this
wanna
point.
keep playing. We wanna keep going. Things to do, bitch.
I know.
Start late and play. Start late and play.
And well, lucky for you, we have a full 4 hours next week too.
Joe? I'm filing for it, Force.
Whoa! Whoa!
That's fine. Mwah, just kidding. Hey, what a great session today.
It's a charity next week, so we don't even get to play. We don't even play Isles.
Yeah, it's charity next week, isn't it?
Fucking Grok left
It
without
is.
saying a word to anyone except Nalf. Where the fuck, Grok?
Oh, now the whole fucking pressure's on Nalf to figure out. Oh yeah, by the way, guys. Cry.
Yeah,
We'll just never go back inside.
We
could play right now.
Maybe what we could do is if there are specific things and people are free tomorrow, we don't have to stream it. I'll record it and then just upload it. So that way it's still there for archival purposes. But I would be more okay with doing a shorter thing tomorrow in lieu of not having next Saturday. That I could work.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, please.
If everybody can. I don't want to speak for everyone.
And if it's a shorter session, because Kit, I know that your schedule is a little contentious. If it's just a shorter session, we can be missing one person and just have the thing that you guys are doing.
I'm good. What time?
Same starting time, just shorter. So
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Okay.
No trouble.
Cool. All right. Well, I will say before we end the stream here, I know I already said it again. I said it last night, Jamie, but once again, just thank you for playing Grok, especially Grok. Cyrus, you signed up for and you had time for Grok. I will never forget 30 or 4 hours before we played being like, Jamie, please. And it was such a great character in such a short amount of time, and it's been an absolute treat playing with you. And hopefully,
I'll be back. Don't worry.
Yeah. Hopefully, when you come back, for one, we're gonna have a really cool raid of a pirate keep when you get back, because Grok can't take out the old captain all by himself. He's gonna need some friends to help him out. So gonna lay siege to the fortress, and that'll be pretty cool.
Awesome.
Very awesome. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you for playing, Jamie. We look forward to seeing you when you come back as Cyrus and as Grok. So yeah. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to tune in this Tuesday for Salamander Coast to see what happens with Bianca and Keothi. Or next Friday for the Explorers of Afera. We'll still have Afera on Friday. And then the charity stream this Saturday and Sunday for Extra Life, raising money for Children's Hospital, specifically the Riley's Children's Hospital that operates within the Midwest, specifically Indianapolis and Indiana. So thank you all so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you on Tuesday, Friday, and on the charity stream next Saturday. So thanks. Farewell.